Live. Shabbat Shalom again, family. Just had a brief interruption. I guess the topic we was covering today, they like, no, y'all gonna struggle through this one. But again, today's class, the clouds of heaven versus the clouds of the earth. So y'all, we were speaking of this eye cloud because AI is going to mimic, or it will be the antichrist, so to speak. It will be its mindset, so to speak, to grab the consciousness of all individuals on earth. That's why you will see pictures of people in the Amazon jungle with a cell phone. For what? What business they got in the jungle wearing a grass skirt still? But they got cell phones. So everybody, they're doing a mirror image, or the devil is pulling the deception that we're going to continue with his kingdom on earth through this new system. It'll cover all money. It'll cover everything. Everything will be transacted, so to speak, by this instrument called an iPhone. Y'all, this thing has good and evil in it, so we have to be careful. I was speaking with Tuba on the way down, and he said that thing was reading his mind, and I say, what you think it said? He said, man, I just thought it, and it showed on my phone. Look at tent for tabernacle. Right. So now, is that a good or bad thing? See, so now we got to be careful that we don't call this full out the devil, right, or we got to get rid of it. We got to get it out of our hands. You know, and what we're talking about is that it's the tree of good and evil, just like Satan was. Satan revealed enough good to get you in, right, so he can trick you into the evil. Right. So you can't call certain things that he may say that we know is on the good side evil because it's coming from him. No, it's like the Pharisees. It says, listen to them, bid and observe though, and see how it's coming out of their mouth. Is it sin or not? Because they may tell you something scripturally, and you think because it's coming out of their mouth, I shouldn't adhere to it. But it may be good direction, so we have to discern thoughts, y'all. We have to look why they saying it. Or they going to tell me 1% of truth and then hit me with 99% of lies after that. Right. It's like you will see in the Daily Mail, such and such of biblical proportions. You know what I'm saying? And it says, this happened in the Bible. And then when you go to start to read the article, the next thing they'll say, well, some say, right, and then they'll go off into their own tangent. It's just to get you to focus on what their conversation is about. The only way we can grab your attention is to grab your first mind, and that's whatever the Lord has said or will say to you. So they present that first. Then they got a case against you because he's the accuser. Satan is always going to make sure you know what the Most High say first, and then he want to get in that mindset and trick you into something else real quick. Y'all, we talk about this phone, but if you ain't seen a family member that's been out of town for years, you can FaceTime. Right. And you can talk to them, actually see their face. Face to face. Is that a bad thing? Is GPS a bad thing? Y'all, because we got to run down the whole line. You can't pick what you want to be good out of it. Right. Is GPS good, or should we just go back to read maps, pull over on the side of the road?
I used to have a bunch of them.
Now say here, make a left up there at 3 stop signs, or do you want GPS? They tell you your destination is on the right.
Make a right.
Yeah. Or do you want to keep saying the man at the service station said make 3 lefts, or did he say make 3 rights?
Turned by the big tree.
Yeah. So y'all, we gonna deal with that subject matter, but like I say, what we want is definition of clouds.
Cloud, a visible mass of particles of condensed vapor, such as water or ice, suspended in the atmosphere of a planet, such as the earth or moon.
So that's what we see, y'all, what we saying, like clouds that hold rain, clouds that move in front of the sun to provide shade. That's just the simple clouds we see up there. But go ahead, what's the other definition?
I'm trying to find the Webster.
Boy, you ain't mine. I be working outside, man. When them clouds cover
Come
that
over,
sun,
boy.
Yeah, be a brief moment of.
Yeah, do Webster one of them. Yeah, so because they're gonna give multiple definitions.
It's at the very bottom, you know, the Webster. Like number 6.
I'm not getting a Webster.
Well, go ahead, run
Give
it.
me a Webster definition.
What you got to
I
about?
got Wikipedia.
Y'all say it had 3 or 4 definitions.
Right here at number 6, it says the computers and connections that support cloud computing,
Yeah,
storing files in the cloud,
yeah.
often used before and after noun, cloud storage / backup, cloud software.
So what we're talking about, y'all, is a whole nother system that's gonna be part of this new world order that controls every thought process. Every order you buy, everything you purchase is being tracked.
I'm gonna read this. This is the AI version of it. iCloud is Apple's cloud storage and computing service that allows users to store and access their data, like photos, files, and emails, across multiple devices. It also enables features such as syncing data, backing up devices, and sharing content with others.
So what's happening now, y'all, is when Most High say, love me with all your heart, mind, and soul, y'all, this is where the test is gonna be. Because all the devil gonna do is just produce what you've been typing in.
Right.
Big black.
Yeah, that late at night stuff,
But I
wandering minds, go
I
ahead.
got just a question, man. With this Neuralink deal, would that mean that your brain is tied into the cloud because it's catching everything you're thinking about?
Well, it may be like, you know, people have what they call a defibrillator in there. That's a piece of machine that instead of them putting the thumpers on you, it feel irregular heart. It thump for you. That's inside of you. Is that a good or bad thing? Because look, the ambulance or the fire department may be too far away to get the thumpers out there. So this is what I'm asking y'all. It's a very thin line of what the devil gonna use as what he's gonna call miracles that are not technically miracles, but they're mixing iron and clay together.
Right.
And what happens when you mix iron and clay together, it can't hold together, it eventually break apart.
Right.
So the body is going to reject foreign things continuously. So even though you may have those devices helping you out, you have to still take medicine because the body is saying, I don't want this.
Exactly.
I don't want this. This is not natural. Let me thump on my own.
Right.
So even though, so that's not a true miracle because the Most High true miracles, you're healed at that very hour. Whole. Ain't no 12-step programs. Ain't no go back and get a checkup from the doctor. The only one thing, like he cured the man from leprosy and it was a cure. He said, now go show the priest because you're cured. So you have to show the priest so he could tell everybody else he's safe to be around. And that was that same hour, y'all. It wasn't no 12-step program. Didn't have to go back in another week like Leviticus 13 started to break down, that you have to keep going back to the priest so he keep checking and seeing if you okay before he release you. No, when the Most High put it on you, you're cured in that very hour. So y'all, we're going to see this mirror image of this impostor that Satan wants to be the father. And the antichrist will get on this earth and the AI will be the image of the beast, meaning AI will spread forth the message of the beast. Now, all of us want Donald Trump to be the beast right now. With what's going on, when you're jumping the gun, you're already 3.5 years too early. This is the process, what's been recorded in the Bible over and over and over again. There's going to be chaos on earth. A man will step up, shut the chaos down, and bring in 3.5 years of good. In the midst of that 3.5, he's going to switch and put bad on you. So you have to accept that Donald Trump, if you want him to be the Antichrist, or you're saying based on everything you're saying he's the Antichrist, we done missed 3.5 years of good somewhere.
Where am I good at?
So you can't leapfrog a process because this individual is doing these things. It tells you iniquity doth already work. So we have to be careful before we start jumping the gun because that's what the Antichrist is looking to see. Is anybody jumping prophecy? Like when he cast the demons out, of that man, and then they said, or you come to torment us before the time.
Right.
So the demons understand the time of torment. We just don't. They're trying to get you to not be focused on what's going on, because things will run as normal. You're not going to get just an explosion on the news that's going to say, and folks, we're in full-fledged Sodom and Gomorrah. Folks, we are right there. Earthquakes are happening, nations against nations. No, parties going to still be going on.
Right.
Marriage is still going to be going on, and it's going to come. That's the only way a thief in the night can hit you, that you're not paying attention. Things are just going on as normal, and you don't see that carbon part down there with no plates on it for the longest, and them 4 people sitting in it keep peeping out.
Right.
You know, you like, oh, it could be Mr. Johnson's nephews. They like to. No, you better watch, so your house don't be broken up. And what the devil trying to do is get in here to break up your house. He's trying to get in through the front door, and then he's going to open the back door for his demons in your mental. That's what we have to guard, y'all. We have to guard our mental. Everything, y'all. So by us having to use this, all this means we're in the world, but not of the world. So let them report your mindset being on Messiah. All your text messages are carefully thought over. They're circumspect. You done looked it over before you hit send. You're not looking for that for multiple likes, because likes is what's going to get you in trouble, because it may be the comment that somebody like. You understand? That's why they so hard on people that say something that may have 1 million followers. Mm-hmm. They like, you can cause a lot of damage with your followers. Influencer. Who got something? Go ahead, sis.
That's why you see so many homeless people out in the streets. They don't have no money. They don't have no job. Everywhere you look, they got tables giving them free cell phones.
Yes. That's what we're talking about.
With everything that they do.
Absolutely.
And they don't have these shoes look like on their feet, but they pride with everybody walking around like this with a hailstone in front of their face.
Yeah.
They don't realize that this one world government order is keeping track of them as well.
As well as us. So they got it. Everybody got to have it, because remember Revelation 16, he calls us all, both rich and poor, free and bond, Jew and Gentile. There's phones in the penitentiary.
Yeah.
People got in there.
But
So go ahead, Zeb.
You got to think about it. It says, tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah.
You constantly keep telling somebody what's on your mind. They
Yeah.
can predict your thoughts. You ain't got to tell them.
You ain't got to tell them. So that's what we're asking. Is anything that you say, I was just thinking that, ask yourself, what was I thinking about that it just popped up on me? That's what you have to be careful about. You know why? Because you could be online and sharing your page, and what you was just doing may just pop up while all your friends on there.
That's why I said that thing about the Neuralink.
Boy, look, I'm saying it may show a big black rendezvous may pop up, and you be like, why that pop up on my screen? Everybody look and say, you know damn well why it popped up on there.
You've been searching for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you in a conference meeting.
Yeah.
Your boss like, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
You need to ask?
Y'all, because they link everything together, your phone, your laptop, everything related to internet surround you. And not only that, but the cloud said it's worldwide databases that link that where you can have access to the internet no matter where you are on planet Earth. Like the Messiah says, I'm always near to you. Just call on me. I don't care where you at. You could be in the hole in the penitentiary like Joseph was. He said, I'll be there with y'all calling. You get thrown in the fiery furnace like Shadrach, Meshach, and the bad Negro. He said, I'll be in the midst of you. I'll protect you. Well, the cloud, AI cloud is saying, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be everywhere where y'all at. You better walk circumspect. And you know what? You're on film 600 times a day just going to the store and coming back home. That's how many cameras are out there. Y'all, there's another set of eyes that's watching everything on planet Earth. and it's making life easy for you or hard. So we're going to get into this a little bit today. We're going to see who's truly the cloud we should be following and storing our data in. So y'all know how we get down. Our one and only high priest, Yeshua HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. He's our high priest after the order of Melchizedek. He brings forth the law to every male, female, rich and poor, free and bond, Jew or Gentile. So we have the definition of cloud. So give me a definition of impostor. And then we're going to get into understanding the cloud of witnesses that we have to be hanging around. Our mindset have to be around it, that we're witnessing what's in the cloud that we need to draw from. You know, it's because it's pulling back information. Y'all, a lot of people think that, Isaiah getting that imposter, a lot of people think that there's new things being put out on the net. No, the information superhighway just opened up. All of that old witchcraft, you used to have to go in the library and go into the rare book room, and you couldn't check that book out. All that information now has been put online. It ain't new it's the same old devil worship. It's just at your fingertips now.
Readily available.
Readily available. And the devil, like, you know you want to look at that picture. Look at that picture. Scroll back and look at that picture again. Why you keep passing up, you know you want to look at it. And then you find the reason. Yeah, that bikini did look kind of baggy. Let me look at it again.
Look baggy.
I want to make sure, you know. You'll find a way to go back. And that's exactly what the devil wants. To second guess yourself. As a man thinketh. So y'all, before we get started on this class, let's hit that Proverbs 23, 6 and 7.
I got that imposter.
Yeah, go ahead, hit that zero.
Imposter is one that assumes false identity or title for the purpose of deception.
What does he assume there?
False identity or title for the purpose of deception.
See, Lucifer masquerades as an angel of light. Y'all understand? So he's acting like he's part of the brotherhood. But he ain't.
Proverbs
23, verse 6 through 9. And y'all, it's not hard to know the thoughts of any individual. We just have to do more listening than talking. And you'll be, you know, that's why I say be slow to speak.
Right.
Swift to hear.
Yeah.
That's why you got 2 ears and one mouth.
So you can listen twice as much.
Boy, look here. Yes, sir.
Makes sense, don't it?
Make plenty sense.
So you shouldn't just be listening to respond.
Yeah, or listening
because
to
you want to hear the
respond.
matter.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
You don't even hear what they're saying.
Right.
You just want to get yours off.
Can't wait for them to finish their point.
Right. So
Half the
really
time you don't wait on them.
And you haven't heard nothing, you know, and you haven't heard anything. That's why we're not to get into debates, because you don't hear the word of God when you're into a debate. Because if you're in debate about these scriptures and you're going back and forth over scriptures, you can run 10 in a row that make plain sense, and that person will be doing like that. I feel you. But what about? And you're like, wait a minute, we just ran the whole gamut, and you still say, well, what about? That means all 10 of them meant absolutely zero to you. Because your thought process is a certain way. It's been geared, it's been manufactured, or I guess we say guided to look one way. And that's what the devil wants. You can't give nobody control over your mind, to let nobody in here.
Right.
Nobody should come in there but the Messiah. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
We're in the book of Proverbs, chapter 23. We're going to start the reading in verse 6.
What'd it say?
It says, eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye.
Y'all see that? Don't eat the bread. And when we're talking about bread, y'all, we're talking about knowledge. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by what? So if you're taking knowledge from someone who's evil, you're going to end up being evil.
Right.
If y'all ever like this walk, somebody always try to bring up that old man. Boy, I remember back in the day, boy, somebody that said that you'd have cut their head off. What they're trying to do is put them thoughts back in your mind. If you ain't careful, you'll start to go back down that road again.
Right.
And you may reveal something that you shouldn't down that road again.
Yeah.
You know, and you free from that. You have to how to get busy ain't never changed in my mind, but I think about things differently. And they'll think of something different. They won't just come at you with that. They're trying to lure you back into their world of danger.
Right.
You going to penitentiary for the rest of your life. Go ahead.
Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye. Neither desire thou his dainty meat. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. The morsel which thou hast eaten shall thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words.
So, is that it? Go ahead.
Speak not in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of thy words. Remove not the old landmark, and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. For their Redeemer is mighty. He shall plead their cause with thee. So, y'all, we see once again, as a man thinketh, so is he. And that's what we have to be about. You have to listen to see what a person thinks before you just start giving them information. Just ask a question and listen. That'll tell you what they're thinking and how they're thinking. Because if we jump the gun and you just bust them out with a bunch of scripture, they're like, well, that's what I meant. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. That's what I meant. So you don't want to play that game with them. Just listen for a second. So what do you mean by what you're saying? Or what? And then you can examine a matter. Right. But if you just want to get right in and cut it off, you never hear what an individual is saying, y'all. And it's about saving souls, y'all. This ain't about cutting heads off. Because you can have a whole trail of slayed individuals that I cut their head off with the word, but, you know, is anybody being built up? Right. Is you just got graveyards or you got living individuals, so to speak, or you just creating a graveyard? Right. Who got a question? Go ahead, sis. Well, right frame of mind is a choice. See, everything is still a choice, though, sister. There is no bad frame of mind because the soul is perfect. That's what you understand. We just dealing with flesh that was shaping in iniquity, but the soul is absolutely perfect. So, in your right mind, you're always going to be in your right mind. People we think is crazy always say something about God. They don't say nothing about nothing else. And that's what make you think they're crazy, because one minute they'll go left field and the next minute you sound like they're talking in their right mind. But remember, when Christ cast out the demons, that individual came right back to his right mind. And what we mean by that, there was another spirit controlling their thought process. So this is where we're at. There's a war for control of the mental. Your soul is there, that's perfect, and you got AI or whatever, the devil and his influence trying to get control of your soul to make it go against the grain and have no shame for righteousness anymore. And that's where we're at. Like a perfect example, if you've been watching this Puffy trial, if you see what's going on in that trial, now what they're saying is, he may be a freak, but he ain't no killer or no Rico. But I want y'all to understand what they're saying at that point. He may be a fornicator at the highest level that we ain't seen since Leviticus, Jasher 18th and 19th chapter.
the books of Adam and Eve about Ganon. Yes, he may have the spirit of Ganon, but he's just a freak. He ain't a killer. So what they're doing is they're shaving that felony list off of all of that fornication and saying, well, he ain't a killer. So they got rid of 8 of the things, and they're just saying, well, we only focus on the one. Right here. And so what that's doing is making people think in their mind that maybe that's not really bad behavior.
Right.
See, that's why the scripts say the marriage bed is undefiled. Right. But that don't mean you can do anything in that marriage bed. You can't bring the felony list into that marriage bed and it still remain undefiled.
You got a 50-foot marriage bed.
Oh, boy, that's what Puffy had. So, y'all, we're going to get right to it. And we see what impostor is, y'all. And Satan's cloud is going to try to mirror everything the Most High is saying. It's basically the book of life. Mm-hmm. Our cloud is running an earthly book of life, and the Most High has his book of life. You got to make sure your name don't get blotted out. Your name is in the Most High's book already. Right. The key is not to get it blotted out. That's what Satan's mission is to get your name blotted out the book of life so he don't see it. Psalm 68, 1 through 21, y'all. We're going to understand a few things because we're going to see clouds mentioned over and over again. And then, look, the devil and all his minions don't have their own imagination. Everything the devil does is a copy out of the Bible. He's just switching it a little bit. I don't care what God it is somebody said on. I don't care what phenomenon is going on the earth. Everything, every thought process come out of the Bible. Every movie, I don't care what it is, its foundation and its base is the thought process of what was in the Bible that turned wicked.
And then they subvert it to something else.
Absolutely. 68, we're going to Psalm 68, 1 through 19.
Yeah.
1 through 21. Let's get it, y'all. We're going to get caught up.
Isaiah 14, though, he said.
I got that on there, yes, sir.
You
got that on there, yes, sir. We're going now. Absolutely. So, yes, sir. So we want to line this up, y'all, so y'all can understand what Satan is doing. He has an artificial way to log all of your thoughts of being with him. Y'all understand? Because I'm talking about some things was coming out. And I want y'all to think about all the people that was standing outside cheering Puffy on.
He's still finna do 20.
Yeah, probably,
He's still finna do some kind of time.
Well, the fans just ain't gonna let you go like that. But no, I'm just saying, just the cheering for what's taking place, because you look at it as an attack on a colored man. You're not looking at his behavior. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're at, that when you see color over behavior, that's going to be a problem for us, because truth don't have no color. It has no color because it's a choice of either do good or do evil. Y'all, and that's where it's coming down to, and Satan wants evil to look good to you. Let's get it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Let Yahweh arise. Let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of Yahweh. But let the righteous be glad. Let them rejoice before Yahweh. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto Yahweh. Sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name Yah. And rejoice before him. A father of the father.
A what?
A father of the father. And the judge of the widow is Yah in his holy habitation.
So when we quoted last week Sirach, what was it, 8, or 4 and 8, or 8 and 24, about be a father to the fatherless more than a husband to their mother.
Right.
So that tells us that we have to, fatherless, y'all, is a terrible situation in Israel. when you don't understand the beginning of anything and who's the founder of it, so to speak. So we have the fatherless, meaning we have an abundance of children that don't know what their father is, or they were conceived illegally, so to speak. So they're looked at as bastards, so to speak, because you can't identify your beginning, so to speak. Or like Jacob around his bed and his 12 sons around him. Like Abraham around his bed and his sons around him. And this is what we're speaking of. When you don't have that, then there has to be somebody that fill in for the fatherless. So you got these groups out here now that run polygamy doctrine. And that doctrine comes with a orphan or make children orphan type of doctrine added to it in its precepts. Because they tell any man out there, if you take on another woman and she got children, she have to give those children to their father. Well, what if their father's dead or in jail?
Right.
Or living, in squalor or up under a bridge? Do you still give those children to them? See, what it is they don't want to be a father to the fatherless. You understand? When she comes, she coming with a package deal. You know off at that point, or you have to turn it away right then. But why do they then go into the marriage chamber and then tell them, send them children away?
Right.
They should tell them that first,
right,
before they go into their so-called marriage chamber. But what that does is that's creating more orphans and more fatherless with that doctrine added to the doctrine of polygamy. They're running them off, and guess what they're using? Well, see, in the jungle, the lion, when the new lion come, he run the cubs of another one off. So now you don't reduce yourself to beast mode, have you?
Right.
Y'all understand what I'm saying? And this doctrine does that, so it's making more children fatherless and homeless, and more mothers widows. They don't want to take that on. That's the first thing David did as soon as he took the kingdom. Y'all understand what we're saying? That's a commandment. Make sure that the fatherless and homeless and the naked can look to somebody and say, he's like a father figure to me. Y'all understand? It has to be that, or a child will long for that their whole life.
Yeah.
Let's get some up.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
Yah setteth the solitary in famine. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land. O Yah, when thou wentest forth before thy people, when thou didst march through the wilderness, Selah.
Selah.
The earth shook, the heavens also dropped at the presence of Yahweh. Even Sinai itself was moved at the presence of Yah, the Elohim of Yisrael.
Yes, sir.
Thou, O Yah, didst send a plentiful rain, whereby thou didst confirm thine inheritance when it was weary. Thy congregation hath dwelt therein. Thou, O Yah, hast prepared of thy goodness for the poor. The Most High gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. Kings of armies did flee apace, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. Though ye have lean among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Salmon. The hill of Yahweh is as the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye, ye high hills? This is the hill which Yahweh desireth to dwell in. Yea, the Most High will dwell in it forever. The chariots of Yah are 20,000, even thousands of angels.
How many chariots of the Most High he got?
20,000, even thousands of angels. The Most High is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place.
So when we see the chariots of God, we're going to get into that as well and understand why he compared them to a cloud and why the people do the same thing, y'all. And we see that it's 10,000 times 10,000. So when you see UFO movies, they're not based off of no other doctrine on planet Earth. Look at all the other doctrine and see whatever you see UFO. All of them are based off of what comes out of the Bible. The shape of them, because these are things that's already been seen, they're already been written about, and they've been confirmed. So this is what we're saying, y'all. You have to be extra careful of what you're going to see. You hear Brother Jacob always talk about the sky show is coming. The difference is, y'all, it's going to be the set of clouds that's going to determine what side of this sky show we're witnessing right now. Because the clouds of heaven are different from the clouds of earth. The clouds of heaven that the Messiah keep coming back with, he's not saying, I'm coming with the clouds of planet earth. He keeps saying over and over, I'm coming with the clouds of heaven. There's a big difference, y'all. The impostor keeps showing us, and we've seen them, so-called UFOs in these clouds right above our eyes, or you'll see they'll have a picture of Jesus standing on a cloud or something. They like, look, a miracle. Right where we can see out. That sky show is coming to deceive the masses, but those are not the clouds of heaven, y'all. Right. Those are just what our eyes can see and are trained just to look and look for, just under this sun or under this realm. But the power is coming from out there. They'll tell you, but they make it sound like we don't know when that's going to happen, or it's so far away. And these people don't have no intelligence or nothing. We think they just coming here looking for gold or studying us. Right. So they make them so foreign to you when the Bible say anything that's coming out of there from me is coming to help y'all or warn y'all about something that's going to happen. They want you to think just the opposite, so that we'll run from our help instead of running to it. Y'all understand? Because right now they're building a case with the propaganda. If whatever you see coming from Isaiah, if it don't have USA on it, run, y'all, run for safety. Don't you do it. Pay attention. What you got back there, Elisha?
Like when they on that Independence Day.
Yeah, we're gonna run a clip on that. Go ahead, Elisha.
Yeah, like that Independence Day when the cloud that came from heaven was a fire enfolding itself.
We're gonna show that, Elisha. Boy, we on the same spirit. We're going to show it. Yes, sir, we're going to show it. But where did they get that from, Elisha? Out of all of the doctrines they could have run, they picked the one out of the Bible to run the movie because they know the Bible is true. All I need you to do is not look at it like that. Look at it as evil. That ain't going to be good if you see that's coming. No, it won't be good for the rulers of this nation because their kingdom ending. Yours is beginning. So naturally, they don't want you to look at it like your redemption draweth near. Right. But y'all, UFOs don't crash. And what I'm talking about is the chariots of the Most High don't crash. They're supernatural. What they're showing you that's crashing or what they're saying, those are their inventions. They crash. Just like ain't no headstone or markers for the devil. Ain't no here lies the devil. Right. Born a couple years before Adam and died a couple years after Noah, and that's on a headstone. And here's his whole row of demons down there, and they got headstone. No, those don't exist, y'all, because they can't die a normal death. They were created supernaturally, so they have to die a supernatural death. But go ahead, read some more.
Back in the book of Psalms, chapter 68, and the reading is in verse 18.
Yeah.
Thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men, yea, for the rebellious also, that the Most High Yah might dwell among them. Blessed be the Most High, who daily loadeth us with benefits, even the Elohim of our salvation. Selah.
Selah.
He that is our Elohim is the Elohim of salvation. And unto Yahweh, the Most High, belong the issues from death. But Yah shall wound the head of his enemies, and the hairy scalp of such, and one as goeth on still in his trespass.
So y'all, all we want to do is just get to the power of the cloud that's on high for us, so you understand the difference, because everybody is putting trust in this. And ain't nothing wrong with using this. I want y'all to understand that. I say, but when you start to look at this like God, can you leave home without this right now?
You can, but you'll be on your way back.
Back to get it. That's what we're talking about, y'all. Look, back in the 70s, 80s, all we had was landlines and phone booths. You had to stop, put a quarter in, You know, you had to report back in to let your parents know you were still alive.
Yeah.
Boy, just come back in and check, go back out and play.
Right.
But right now, this, you don't want to let it out of your sight. They making them waterproof now. You can take it swimming with you. You can always have it with you. See, the deal is to make it feel like it can answer all my questions and determine everything of questions I may have. So it'll be like everything the Messiah is saying he is.
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all, we have to be careful of the tree of good and evil. And I want y'all to understand the good in this. If you name any evil and you're using it, then you have to explain your good part while you're using it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? You can't call it evil and you using it. You have to say, I'm using the good in this.
And that's so funny because I can remember these didn't even exist.
Boy, look here. We saw it on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Flip phones. And we like a
Dick
phone
Tracy.
that Dick Tracy, a phone like that with no wire. So y'all, we are into that age where this controls everything.
FaceTimes was on the Jetsons.
Sure
Yeah,
was,
no
wasn't
doubt.
it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, the treadmill.
So y'all, that's how far they've been advanced, y'all. But they brought it to us as cartoons.
Right.
Look, every car on Speed Racer looks just like the Camaros and everything right now.
Yep, Firebirds.
So y'all, they're 20 to 30 years ahead of the technology that we're seeing now. This is old technology, y'all. This is old.
Right.
Let's get some more of this, y'all. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 through 8, y'all, and we just want to understand once again the true meaning of the cloud and why they choose to name things the cloud. Y'all, it just wasn't coincidental that they decided to call it the cloud,
Right.
where all your information is stored. What do you think? Ain't no other doctrine, ain't no other book out there talking about the cloud in that form of sense. But when we get through with this today, you're going to understand it perfectly, and you're going to walk circumspect with this. Yeah, you're going to need it with you, but you're going to have to be careful of every text message you send, every response you send. You have to be extra careful. And one way they're going to get you is saying, look, if you click on this email, there waits for you $10,000. Well, guess what? When you click on that, if you had $10,000, it's gone.
Yeah.
They'll go in your bank account. They'll do that. And fraud is going to be on this. Fraud is going to be on this till we come with the one that they say is fraud proof. And watch the line for that one.
Yeah, but it's like you say, once you hit sin, you can't unring the bell.
You can't unring the bell. Y'all, that debauchery and what I was talking about, Puffy, that debauchery he was doing, everything that they saying was when they was viewing the film, they were saying what happens with his wife, or he's saying this my woman, and another man with her while he's watching, and then what this man released, he rubbed all over himself. But everybody's saying, let him out of jail, let him out of jail, let him out of jail. To spread more of this. See, if he'd have got out, y'all,
That's nasty.
it'd have been parties that night.
Yeah.
All over the planet. Because it had been looked at as a victory.
Baby all for everybody.
Baby all for everybody. Let's get some more, y'all. Let's get caught up.
They got to stop.
Good. Hebrews 12:1.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1.
Yeah.
Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about.
How are we compassed about? That means full circle, don't it, Zay? Go ahead.
Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking into Yahushua, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
For consider him that endures such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be weary and faint in your mind.
So we always have to say the servant is not greater than his master. Sis, the things your mother is saying, if you had heard the Pharisees saying that to the Son of the Most High, we'd be shocked at things that they were saying. You'd be like, oh, my mother went light on me.
Right.
The things that they were saying about, and these were the so-called church leaders. I'm talking about the things that they were saying about the Messiah and his mom. Let's get some more.
Verse 4.
Yeah.
Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Most High, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Elohim loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receives.
So, like our parents will tell you, this gonna hurt you more than it's gonna hurt me.
Right.
I mean, it's gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you.
Well, you had it right.
Yeah, you know, so you know, right, but that's how we thought. But he's saying that chastising because we come back later and say, you know, I'm glad I got them whoopings.
Exactly.
You know, because it kept me out of jail. Everybody I know didn't get whoopings or didn't have to come in when the street lights came on in jail or the graveyard. So y'all, we understand that the process comes down to men, and we have to teach our children the same way he taught us. You know, if not, you're going to go left field. If you become lawless and you allow your children to be out all night, they're going to become lawless.
Yeah.
And then there'll be zero control. And that's why we have now women, mothers and daughters that go out and they call each other garden tools.
Right.
Or female dogs to each other. Oh, mama, be please.
Right.
Girl, you better watch your mouth. What club we going to?
Pass the blunt.
Class, yeah. So this is where you're at when it get lawlessness like that, and it's starting to be passed down from generation to generation. You know, and the law has become a strange thing. And we're in the world, but not of it, y'all. We need to see it going on so we know what time period we in. So we can listen for the trumpet. We have to listen for the trumpet. If you keep talking, you ain't going to hear the trumpet. Go ahead. What you saying back there, sis?
Brother Daniel, I was just sharing with some people. Saturday before last, you talked about that instead of June 19th and all this other stuff, that we need to learn about our holy days.
Absolutely.
They are absolutely strange. You could talk about Passover, yeah, but they always think it's the one that's out of West County. That keeps Passover.
Well, and it's always looked like something that just, you know, an old relic that people talk about that don't exist no more. He said, do this in remembrance of him till he come back.
Right.
So we have to keep this, but yet we log on to Juneteenth. Y'all, we're going to get into Kwanzaa, which is a Negro, I guess, feast of dedication. You know, that we invent a green, black, red, so we chase colors. See, that's the whole deal of the devil. Just get them chasing color. That's all I need them to do. Once they chase color, I got them. Because if they see black in the Bible, they're going to think it's talking about them. But there's nowhere in the Bible it says, and the son of Jacob, who was the son of Isaac, who was the son of Abraham, who was the son of black. Anybody seen that?
Look, man.
Look black, yeah, but we got a Judah black, but at least he's still saying what tribe he from first.
Yeah.
So we don't get it twisted that it's a Hamite black. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, every condition in the Bible, color is always related to something so we can compare it to. It's never identifies an individual. Black is a mourning state. When they say the Israelites are black unto the ground, that don't mean they the color of the ground.
Right.
Because ain't no black dirt out here, is it? You know, that you're going to compare it to. And everywhere you're looking at that, that's a state of mourning. No, we compare it to rubies and diamonds and things of that nature, the children of Israel are. And those are different colors, green and red. We know ain't no red individuals. Why do we chase black when we see it? Let me see your Zion in just 1 second. And I'm going to tell you, the world, when they use black, they only targeting one group of people because they don't call African nations black. They name them by their nation, and I just want to run this real quick, y'all, then we're going to speed it up.
To what Sister Poor was saying, I was with some guys the other day that I grew up with. And they were putting down the 4th of July and championing Juneteenth.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there looking at them.
Yeah.
And they going back and forth.
Yeah.
And just like, All y'all missing the mark.
Right.
Y'all all missing the mark.
Just missing it, and they get mad at you if you don't do that and do the fourth of your life.
Well, they already don't call me, so I didn't say
well,
that.
yeah. So y'all look, this is the pictorial dictionary. All of everybody uses it, all of them. This is the #1 pictorial dictionary on that. And when you turn to Ham, it says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races. It didn't say black.
Right.
He used the word dark. And guess what it say right after that? Not the Negroes.
Right.
But the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. So that's what it says. Ham is the father of the dark nations, but not the Negroes.
Specifically.
And the Negroes is a byword and a proverb. Negroes, colored, African American, Afro American, jungle bunny, spirit chucker, coon, all of those are bywords and proverbs. It's on every application. What are you? Caucasian / white, Kenyan / Ham. It lists the nation, but us, we're named after a hairstyle. I was trying to look up at here. Ain't nobody wear waves no more. I was going to say this be a wave American. Most of y'all now are bald Americans, I see. But y'all, they would start something after that. And so we're bywords and proverbs. But let's speed it up, y'all.
Verse 7.
Yeah.
If ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with a son. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then ye are bastards and not sons.
And see, and that's why if you don't accept the chastisement of the Most High, repent from your iniquity, you're going to end up being a bastard, because that's what the church is teaching. The laws are done away with, which brings in bastardom. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Close to it. But that's what it does, because the law is not there. So willy-nilly takes place. Yeah. There's no going to the father anymore and saying, I want your daughter. There's no more of the marriage first and then the honeymoon. It's the honeymoon for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then possibly it could be a marriage. Y'all understand? So this is what I'm saying. When it gets and start to go down that path, y'all, and the main thing is when it says the leaders of this people called marriage, when they tell you, oh, God done away with all them laws, you can do whatever you want to do.
You have been subverted.
Then how do you let the word sin come out of your mouth and point as anyone else that it's a sin? How, unless you start to identify which ones you're going to keep, like, will a man rob God? So Numbers 18:20, tithing is a law. Nehemiah 10:36, tithing was a law. So if the laws are done away with, why do you run Malachi 3:8 on? Will a man rob God? See, because people don't understand what the law is. People don't understand there's a difference between forgiveness and repentance. Forgiveness is what you say to somebody when you clearly understand, I broke a law of God against you. Can you forgive me? The other party, according to Luke, Luke 17:1-4 says, if they repent, forgive them. So a lot of times that may take a little walk for you to see them, and you say, okay, I forgive you now. Or you could hear it in the speech. Like the thief on the cross, the Most High heard that. You've been stealing all your life. Now you saying, remember me? Or you saying, remember me because you up here? No, he said, remember me when you come into your kingdom. I know I got to die in this one for what I did, but if you spare me that I can come in your kingdom, I really appreciate it. But guess what the other thief saying? Look, he can't get himself down. Right. Still mocking and he like this. Man, hey, he can't get himself down, man. You losing your mind? Yeah, so y'all understand what I'm saying? So this is where the level of is at. To your dying breath, a living dog is better than a what? Yeah. So long as we got breath. But repentance means I've turned away from that evil. I'll never call you again. I'll never come in and be using your phone while you gone. I crawl through the window. All this means I repent. I will turn away from the evil. Then you tell them, I forgive you. But you just can't do a blind forgiveness and they do it again. What they going to make you do but start threatening with that old man again. See, they going to pull Charlie out again. They going to pull Charlie out of me. See, I'm Charles now.
Right.
But see, they going to make me go get Charlie again, Chollie. And when I pull him out, he coming out with the real law and order.
Boy, don't play.
Now you back in that old man that quick.
Yeah.
Charlie back on the scene because you don't know how you supposed to forgive.
They made me do it.
They made me do it. Can't nobody make you forgive nobody. The Lord's Prayer cover everything. Give them that trespass against us like we ask the Most High to forgive us. But you have to understand what trespass means. They committed a sin against you. Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't be a whole list of people that's doing that to you. When you're thinking about that, that shouldn't be anybody who was thinking about me too when I went to the Cardinals game.
Uh-oh.
Anybody was looking at me funny when I went to my daughter. I asked you to forgive them. No, y'all, that's tomfoolery. Yeah. You have to know who's sinning against you. It shouldn't be a whole list of people or you're not walking accordingly. The Day of Atonement, we have most people holler, and I just want to say to the people, if I've offended you, forgive me. If you don't know who you offended, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then you ain't naming what offenses you may have done. You just throwing something that may stick to the wall. Somebody comes and say, man, well, you remember when you did that? Oh, well, I already done said, man, if I did that, forgive me. But you don't know how you've offended people. Then that means you got a whole nother list of offenses. Y'all, the Bible's about instructions. Let's get some more. Where we at? 1 Thessalonians 4. And y'all, this is one that the churches also expect to be delivered from this world with no law or no work of proving that you're mental, that you love the Most High. Mm-hmm. He said, you love me, do what?
Keep the commandments.
And you can't love them if the commandments are, if you're saying they're done away with, how you ever going to love the law?
Right.
You don't know what he requires. So guess who you're going to end up loving? That the one that says he's God. Mm-hmm. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4.
Verse 1.
Yeah, we're going to go verse 13 through 18.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13.
Well, bag it up to verse 10, Zeb, if you will. 1 Thessalonians 4 and 10, y'all. And look, I want y'all to understand how you have to be it and observe, because this is a favorite of the church to get the doctrine called the rapture across on you. They'll use this, but it's key words in here because they're scared of the Most High and they don't want to read Revelation. Also, they tell them, don't read the book of Revelations. The book of Revelation is called the revealing of Hamashiach. Why wouldn't you read and he tell you this how I'm going to come back? So if you scared of that or you taught not to go in there, then you're going to take Hollywood's version of it, of how he's coming back.
Right.
And then you're going to get the Shroud of Turin. Even if you look at that Shroud of Turin, Shalom, Orlando. Shalom, So you get like that Shroud of Turin they keep showing you. Even if you look at the image on that shroud, is the face beat up? Is it marred than any man? That face look perfect. Got the beard on there. The beard ain't ripped out. They tore his beard out. So when you're looking at that, you want to believe so bad that these are the Messiah's grave cloth that you believe and you have false belief. You're believing outside of the Bible at this point. You want that to be an image to prove it to who?
Right.
What you got back there, Sister Joyce? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Of what? Okay. We're going to the book of Jude. We're going to read the whole book of Jude. So we're in the same spirit. We're going to the book of Jude. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. We're going to cover that, especially verse 12 of that book of Jude.
Afterward, destroy them that believe not.
Yeah, absolutely, because belief is the key to all of it. Once your belief system leaves, you're through peace. There's no more for you if they've shaken your belief system. Let's get it, y'all. We got to get caught up. Where we at? 10.
7.
That's 7? Okay.
All right.
Y'all, we're in 1 Thessalonians 4 and 7. And y'all, when we get down to verse 16, you're going to see the church skip all of this and they get right to verse 16. But let's get it.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 7.
Yes, sir.
For Yahweh has not called us unto uncleanness, but unto holiness.
Unto what?
Unto holiness. He therefore that despiseth not man, but Yahweh, who hath also given unto us as his Holy Spirit. But as touching brotherly love, ye need not that I write unto you, for ye yourselves are taught of Yahweh to love one another.
So this is Paul just telling them, like, look, I don't have to keep going over this with you, how to love your neighbor, because that's in the law. That's in your scripture. I'm not going to keep repeating to you. I'm not going to chew my cabbage twice with this. You need to understand the Most High told you, you have to love your brother. The first 5 commandments of the 10 are how you love the Lord. The second 5 are how you love your neighbor as yourself. So that's already there. He said, I ain't got to keep repeating that till you know that's there. I'm not going to change it to where it fits your narrative. And you start saying things like, you know, the Most High know my heart. Yes, he does.
He sure do.
He says desperately wicked. If we say something like, you know, he hates sin, but he loves the sinner. That ain't in the Bible. He say sinners are evil. You have to repent from sin. He's not going to allow you to be a comfortable sinner around him. No, you ain't going to say to the Lord, my bad. You know how I am, Lord. You know how I get down. You know, I ain't mean to bring this pentagram up in here. But you know me, sometimes I dibble on the dark side. No, you ain't going to play no games with the Most High like that.
To death.
Let's get it, y'all. Let's get caught up.
Verse 10. And indeed ye do it toward all the brethren which are in all Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more, and that ye study to be quiet.
What we got to do?
Study to be quiet, and to do your own business, and to work with your hands as we commanded you, that ye may walk honestly towards them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing.
See, and once again, it's just a second witness to study to show thyself what? Approved. See, a workman of his own. You have to be on your game. You can't say what somebody said, man. I just need you to look at this video. No, that's what somebody else said. Tell me why you believe it that you want to share it to me. You explain it to me, what you see in there. Right. If they can't explain it, ain't no need in you going there and listen to what again? If they can't explain it to you and they turning you on to it, why would you then go listen to it? What meat or what fruit have they gained and they can't understand what they just trying to get you to go look at?
Because they haven't learned.
That brother was powerful.
Yeah. Let's get it. Verse 12.
Verse 12. That ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing.
See, it says walk honestly toward them that are without. We're not worried about the ones that know. It's who outside of the fold watching you. They like, look at him down there with them Hebrews every week, got his fringes on, and look at him over there now. Is that him over there? Look at him over there, and got his fringes on.
Another face with a mess.
See, we have to worry about outside. That's why in Matthew 5:45, like he went to the Pharisees' house, they invited him, he went, he like, look, if we just hang around each other, what we ain't gonna gain no fruit because we got all the fruit. We got to go get some more fruit. We got to get the worm out them bad apples out there.
Because you're going to turn on each other.
You're going to turn on each other eventually because you get tired of saying the same thing. But when it keep growing and it keep growing, it's innumerable like it's supposed to be. But we just can't hang around each other. Y'all, this don't mean you go hang with the devil. It's not what I'm saying, but that's why he got us in the world, but be not of it. That's the ultimate goal. See how many you can get in a world of dominated with sin and debauchery. But you know what? Their soul wants out.
Right. But see, that's why
It just don't know how to let go.
That's
Go
why
ahead.
he chose us, so we could carry this word to all the other nations of the world.
To bring them
Whoever
light.
had an ear,
Yeah.
you know, let them hear, and they'll hear and understand, because the scripture says that, you know, those that seek him
Yeah.
shall find him. But if they don't have a guide to kind of help them along the way, they'll just be lost on the course.
You're going to be seeking anything that come along, bro. Every wind of doctrine.
Yeah.
But y'all, we're going to get this tightened up just a little bit more. Go ahead. Where you at? Verse what? 13?
Verse 13.
Yeah.
But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren.
So let's understand the word ignorant. So once again, y'all, this is a patient labor study book. That word, if you don't know what a word means, you have to look it up before you go to the next verse. Or you just skipped over understanding. Now, ignorant, a lot of us think that means, oh, he just old dummy. Ignorant just means without knowledge of a subject.
Right.
Let us understand the subject matter that we own. Let us not be ignorant to the ways of the Most High.
Exactly.
But without the law, you're going to be completely Curly Stooges and Jethro Bodine. You're going to be super ignorant of what's going on with this.
Numbskull.
Numbskull. Go ahead, bro.
But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope.
So what is this talking about? But, you know, I want you to be ignorant about who's dead already. You know, I know you're worried about your mama, your auntie, grandma. You're worried about them that are dead, that are asleep. What's their outcome? Let's get it.
Verse 14.
Yeah.
For if ye believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will Yahweh bring with him.
He's saying basically, if they die believing that he was the Messiah, y'all ain't got no problem.
Right.
You good.
If you understand that, that's who's going to bring with him. He's not bringing back anybody. Anybody just died and you think they just coming back. Devil worshipers expect to see their people coming back.
Yeah.
But no, it ain't going to be like that, y'all. Don't get caught in the false resurrection. That's why it keeps talking about the resurrection first, because it's the only thing that the Antichrist won't be able to do, and that's perform resurrection. He's going to make it look like you're talking to a dead person, individual, that'll be a robot, may look just like your uncle. They already been test running them at football games, people walking right past them. China has sex robots that they can't keep on the shelves.
Oh.
So, y'all, and these things, I'm talking about they look identical. If you just didn't study it and look at it, you would just walk past and think it's a normal person. Y'all, that's where we at right now. There's Terminators out here, or AIs just walking around, that's full robot that look just like a human being.
Yeah.
Cyborg, so to speak. Let's get some more, y'all. They ain't showed us them movies for nothing. See, Terminator, when it came out, all of this they took out of the Bible. What is the devil but a roving lion, right?
Yeah.
Seeking whom he would devour.
Yeah.
He don't stop. He don't quit.
Right.
Wasn't that the Terminator?
Yes, sir.
Blew up and still crawling with half a body and just a skeleton. I'm going to get y'all. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
For this we say unto you, by the word of the Elohim,
By the what?
by the word of the Lord,
Uh-huh.
that ye which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep.
So that's the least of your word. If they died in Messiah, but Messiah believers go all the way back to Adam.
That's right.
Noah was a Messiah believer. Y'all, all of them knew the Messiah had to come and fix that problem. I'm talking about before the flood and after the flood. So if we worried about Enoch, if we worried about any Jared or Abel, don't worry about them. Look, if they died believing that the Messiah was going to fix this thousands of years before you were ever thought of, they're going to be there. So let that hope rest in you. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Yeah.
For the Elohim himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Okay.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Elohim in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words.
So it says we should be caught up in the clouds. So the deal is, what type of cloud? Are we looking at that cloud right there? And we're going to be caught up into that cloud. What cloud would you be caught up into during this time period? See, because what the rapture is, they show you a movie. They show people that supposedly so-called got called up in it. Guess what? They had time to fold their clothes neatly. Right. Their pants are folded, their shirt folded, and their shoes sitting right next to them. Like they left their earthly clothing, like they had time to fold them up. But it ain't no such thing called a rapture in the Bible, because what they don't do by not teaching Revelations and tell you that scared of people, they miss out Revelations chapter 2 through 6, and that's talking about the trumpets. Notice this said at the last trump. The last trump is when Christ is going to show. There are 6 trumpets of woe that's already happened, but they pull a script at the last trump. See, they think we're going to escape all of that. We're going to be gone in the rapture. 6 trumpets done already blew. Where you at? Right. That's why they were so shook when COVID hit and a lot of their pastors died from COVID. They said we should have been around. What we going to do now? What are we going to do now? And then all of them ran and started taking the shot. Y'all understand what we're saying? Because their leader was gone, so they felt all of who they trusted in their protection got whooped out. Because we're looking for a God we can see with these 2 eyes and worship. But those gods are sinner that you can see with these 2 eyes. They sin just like you if you call them a God. God never sins. Freemason called Lucifer a God. He was a sinner and a murderer and a liar and a thief, and they call him a God. The Messiah never sinned once. Yet you got groups out here that want to make Joseph his natural father and say he went into the honeymoon chambers before the public knew that they were getting married. So what did that mean? How was Christ then born? He's a bastard at that point. And you got Hebrew Israelite camps teaching that Joseph is his natural father. You know why? Because they don't want Joseph to be the ultimate father of the fatherless. Christ didn't have no father on earth. Joseph stepped in. Mary was already pregnant. Yeah, I mean, y'all understand what we're saying about the Holy Spirit. So he's the ultimate stepdad that they hate that he's like that. So they try to find ways for it to legalize Joseph being Christ's father. Well, what you did is you just unlegitimized him by saying he had Mary before the public knew it. That means you put the honeymoon before the marriage, didn't you? Ain't nowhere in the Bible, even when we read Ezekiel 16, when he married us, he said it was public. The first miracle was at a public wedding. But yet you got doctrine out here that teach that Joseph is not the father. When Joseph himself, words come out of his mouth. I ain't never touched her. Right. I don't know what's going on around her. I've been working. She's 6 months pregnant. I've been gone 7 months. The angel had to come to. Since when do an angel come to an individual to get up here and to straighten out his thought process? Man, don't worry about that. She's conceived of the Holy Spirit. You understand that? Oh, I understand it clearly now. And they say he never touched it. They say, well, he never touched her no more after that. Why? Why wouldn't you cut off the sex now? It don't make sense, y'all. But that doctrine's out here of the devil, y'all, and they call themselves Israelites. You know why? Because it puts them in the line to be chief men and sinners that they are. Let's get some more of this, y'all. Let's get caught up. Who got a question? Go ahead, sis. Uh-huh. Well, look, disease is what disease is, y'all. We can't take disease lightly. What we're talking about is if they convince you to have fear, to force it on you.
They still want your money, though.
Well, naturally, but what I'm saying is, though,
We represent Christ when he tells
well, I'm saying if you got a cold, you can't be talking to me this close to me. You're going to contaminate me. Listen to what I'm saying, sis. I understand exactly what you're saying.
So the point was, everybody wants your money, though, and don't realize how filthy your money is.
Well, but you can't do without money, can you? If you can get anybody in here don't need money. Anybody here don't need no money. Put it up here. Who don't need your money? I'm just asking you, who don't need the money you got in your pocket right now? I can use it because, see, sis, this is what you got to understand. And Ecclesiastes tell us money is a defense. Money, it said, Ecclesiastes 8 and also Ecclesiastes 11. Money answereth all things. It's not money, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Not money. So, sis, this is all we're saying. You have to be careful of what you're saying that somebody don't bring this back to you real quick. But let's just hit money real quick. Give me a Ecclesiastes. Just real quick, y'all. We're gonna get back to it. Because, sis, yes, it's dirty. It's filthy. It's full of hexagram. It's got in God we trust. But go to the store with somebody else's money and see what's gonna happen. You can't spend nobody else's money. You can't take no rubles, no dirt marks, no nothing. You got to have George Washington on that money.
They said George Floyd had fake money.
Who had that?
George Floyd.
No, you sure can. Yeah, and that was counterfeit.
Yeah,
made
counterfeit
to look
money.
like the real. And we know what they did with
Got
them
a knee
20s.
to the neck.
Look, they got a mark that they mark on money to tell if this fake money. Y'all understand what he's saying? You're in the world, but not of the world. If they come to a point and they say, you won't get no more money unless you take the mark of the beast, then you have to look at money as evil at that point. But right now, you can't because you need it. Whether it's on a card or whatnot, all we're saying, if you don't believe you need it, get rid of it right now and see how you're going to live in this capitalist society with no money. Yeah. 7 and 12. Hold on. Go ahead, sis. What you saying?
Just as much as they on our money, we want and need their products. It's a give and take with that.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. Good and evil, y'all. We have to use what we have to until it comes to the point. See, what the devil want to do is get you conditioned to using things and then take it away from you. See, that's why your only habit should be bread and water. Nothing else your body was formed to have to survive. If you smoke or whatever you do, if you can't get control of it and you have to have that to calm your nerves or to settle your stomach, if you trust in that, that's what the devil gonna come with to offer you to take the mark of the beast. Look, endless supply. You know, all top shelf what you want. The best of this, the best of that. You got all of that. Just bow down and worship me. You ain't got to worry about it. So, y'all, the only thing we can depend on is bread and water. That's it, because that's all they used to give you in jail, and nobody died back in them days. Now they providing full meals, but back in the day, they work you like a dog, bread and water. Big hunk of, or like Olive Garden bread, but hard as steel. And some water. And you live through your sentence. Go ahead, read that, please. What you say, Elijah 7:12? Let me get that real quick. Hold on. You got it? Go ahead. Ecclesiastes in the Bible, y'all. So what we do, y'all, why we have to do this is because somebody going to ask you the question. We play the devil advocate, so to speak, because we have to be wise as a what?
Serpent.
See, what's happening, y'all, and what that means, that don't mean you have to do what they do, but you have to know what angle they coming from, how a serpent gonna come. It may look like it ain't gonna do no harm, and it's just looking so like it's so shy and docile, and you go to pet it, pow! That's all it takes. That quick, you through. Well, yeah, 7 and what license? Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. For wisdom is a defense.
What is a defense?
Wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
So you see, money is a defense, wisdom is a defense also, but the difference in wisdom is money that'll let you keep earthly money. Without wisdom, you'll go broke real quick. Without wisdom, you'll think your sugar honey iced tea don't think because you got money. You think, I don't need wisdom because I'm rich. But wisdom will let you know that your money will get you in trouble if you think your money can bail you out of everything. And that was the problem with Rich. He ain't never said there will be no rich priest. He just said hardly shall the rich enter the kingdom because it's hard for people to part with their money.
Yeah. And you'll see that in Ecclesiastes 5 and 9 through 13.
Is that about the money again? Because we got another one on money.
Money, also, money answers all things is Ecclesiastes 10.
10, that's what I want, Lisa. 10 and what?
10 and 19.
That's what I want, 10 and 19. What it say? Who got it?
Said 10 and 19.
Yep.
All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19.
What it say?
A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry.
Yes, sir.
But money answereth all things.
See, money answers all things except salvation. Look, you got to have money to bury somebody.
Yeah.
You can't go to the funeral home and saying, I want the lavish wedding and I want horse-drawn carriages and I want dignitaries coming from other nations. They like, well, who paying for any of this?
He was an Israelite.
No, that ain't gonna get it. So, no, sis, we understand exactly what you're saying. But like I'm saying, it'd be hard to condemn what you have to use and not explain your usage of it without sounding like a hypocrite. That's the part that the devil wants you to look like. So, y'all, we don't want to go there and say, well, no, I only use it for good things. Well, if they reveal everything that you Google and search, you may be stunned. Uh-oh. So money, y'all, is dirty, but those are things we learn, but you can't get it out of your pocket. Money even have on it, in God we trust, and we still got it in our pocket, don't we? Because you have to use it until it can't be used anymore. Now, if you don't want to deal with this heathen money, you got to get gold. Gold is God's money. So the more gold you get, that's what we need to be saying. You can barter with gold right now. You can go in any store with a chunk of gold. If they got a way to look and tell her if it's real gold, they'll make exchanges with you. But counterfeit, thank you, Elisha. Where else we going, y'all? Let's get right back to it, y'all. We got to get caught up. Exodus 13. And y'all, then, Elisha, we're gonna show a short, just that part of that film to let you know what cloud we have to be ready for. Look, y'all, then another thing. We spoil the Egyptians. What did we leave with? What does that mean? What they giving you? Ain't they giving you gold and silver? Yeah. Ain't that money?
Yes, sir. We left with great substance.
Yes, sir.
So, y'all, we have to understand we have to deal with the things that's dealing on earth, and we have to deal with the things that's heaven. There's spiritual money called wisdom. Wisdom makes sure you hang on to the money that you have here on earth and you don't lose it. With no wisdom, money will take control of you. Like, this is how bad the thought process is. You'll have people that may inherit $5 million, but they don't want to be a millionaire that way. They want to be a drug dealer. And they would actually buy all the dope they need so that they have more attention from drug dealers that I'm the man than just to have the money and feed the fatherless and the homeless. So with all your money, all like this, you were given that gift, and then they end up in the penitentiary with all that money. Gone because it's been taken and everything. So without wisdom, those are the things that'll happen with money.
A fool and his money shall
A
depart.
fool and what?
And his money shall depart.
So they're going to separate. The devil is the ultimate pyramid scheme. Let's get it, y'all, where we at? Exodus 13, 21, 22. Y'all, we're just going to hit a couple of these. So we set up the cloud, and then we're going to get into the man's mind of it. We're going to close out here, y'all, about 40 minutes.
All right, the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 21.
Because, y'all, what we're talking about is a consistent pattern. The Most High don't change. He's the same yesterday and today. He moves in the same chariots that he did when Adam's on. And he moves in the same chariots that John on the island of Patmos saw on Revelation. It don't change. Ezekiel is the same thing. Nothing changes. But what we're seeing out here now today is a change in the Most High's chariots. They setting up the scene, but they altering the change. They're doing things like cloaking different things, you know, like a nation that has weaponry can't see them coming with their weaponry, and before they could even push their panic button, they already gone and the damage is done. So what we're talking about is somebody that can mass a super weapon that's holding a nuclear bomb. What are you gonna do with that? Man, you hear that? Shoo! Man, I heard something. I didn't see nothing.
Right.
See, they're above. They're trying to be above, and when they do this, they're above the clouds. So you can't see them. It's their form of being cloaked, and we're going to hear the scripture that where they're copycats. The Most High does the same thing with angels. Like when we don't know protection that's behind us, the people that's in front of you see what's behind you. You think they got scared, don't you? I scared them. I looked them right now, they scared. No, they actually, their eyes opened up with what's behind you, waiting to take your battle on. We have to understand that's good or bad. It happened both ways. When David numbered Israel, them angels came and slaughtered many Israelites. They didn't see him, but he just had to say, please stop. When Esau was coming up against Jacob, that host was behind Jacob. Jacob had no clue who was there. So y'all, we have to be extra careful. You gone, sis? Take it easy out there. Be careful. Watch the devil. Watch the wiles of the devil.
Right.
The devil can go to hell.
Yeah, that's where you're going. Let's get some more, y'all. Go ahead. Yeah.
Chapter 13, verse 21.
What it say?
And the Lord went before them by day.
What did he do?
Went before them by day in
Uh-huh.
a pillar of cloud.
In a what?
In a pillar of a cloud.
So a pillar, when we look up, that's the supporting, that's the stronghold. Every building must have a pillar that it supports itself. All ancient Roman Colosseums, you know the only thing left that you know there are the pillars. The foundation of it. So the Most High is in a pillar of a cloud. So he's into power and righteousness and sternness that nobody can come up against this. It's a stronghold. So that's what led us out. They couldn't penetrate it. Nothing could penetrate it that he had us surrounded by. No weapon formed against us was going to prosper at that point. Go ahead. What else is saying that?
It says to lead them the way.
To do what?
Lead them the way.
Uh-huh.
And by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
So we see here that our protector is going to do the same thing here, y'all. And what we're talking about is going up as superpower. He's going to block that from causing damage to us. See, because fear going to jump in here. If y'all see a nuclear warhead go off somewhere, man, fear sets in. And you know what the main fear is? My life is going to end now. I wasn't ready yet, Lord.
Right.
I just got a new grandbaby. Not now. Well, when? Let's get some more. Where we at? Ezekiel 21, 22, 28. And that we coming on up to Lucifer, y'all, because, y'all, we're talking about, we deal with spiritual wickedness in what places? So it ain't on earth, y'all. It's in the clouds that we're dealing with. It's which set of clouds you're dealing with. Are you dealing with the realm that Lucifer is in because he controlled the airspace and everything? Or you dealing with the cloud that's above that he has no power over? He just making you think what's below has the power. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 22 to 28. And what I'm saying, y'all, it ain't a movie out there. Not one movie on the scene that describes the chariots of God any different than the Bible does. What they do is change the narrative of what they represent. Them aliens, y'all, they coming to strip your brain and to rape women. See, what they're doing is putting on you everything that they did when the world came to an end in Genesis 6. That's what the Watchers did. That's what the fallen angels did, came and raped your women and had babies by them. That's what they did. And that's what they're telling you the second coming is going to be like. Go ahead. Where we at?
Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 22.
Yes, sir.
And the likeness of the firmament upon the head of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal.
What was it the color of?
The terrible crystal.
See, and notice how whenever the Bible uses color, it compares it to something. So you could have a visual. It don't call things color. It always compare. It like these are dark as the tents of Kedar. So all you do is look up the tents of Kedar, and when you look at it, you're like, oh, he was dark chocolate.
Right.
So just like this comparison here, go get that thing it's comparing it to, look at it, and then you know what he meant. Go ahead, what else to say, bro?
Stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and every one had two, which covered on that side their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of a great water, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings.
See, there's always something above them, and that's who work for the Most High, because he sits on the throne. He don't never get off his throne. The Most High have never got off his throne to come down here and deal with nothing on earth. He got subjects for that. What you think they were created for?
Right.
Go ahead, Elijah.
I was just wondering why you started 14.
14, we're just trying to get to it, you know, right to the heart of the matter. Yeah. Because it was more on, I'm getting more on not the living creatures, but the cloud, so to speak, what they drive. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 26.
Yeah.
And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne.
You see what was above their heads? See, Lucifer was one of these that talked about the spirit of their wing. What we're talking about is a cherubim or an archangel. But he wanted to say, I need to spread my wings up there.
Right.
Why I can't fly up there? What's the bird that can fly the highest on planet Earth? The what? The eagle. What America names itself? See, y'all, it ain't a coincidence that these the nations that say we want to get the highest. When they landed on that fake moon mission, they say, what has landed? In the book of Obadiah, he said that though you exalt, though you exalt yourself as the what? See, it's the highest bird on earth that can get to the highest mountain is the eagle. And not only that, but it can look down and see a rabbit, where if me and you were halfway up there, we couldn't see a rabbit. And he swooped down and grabbed him up, a bird of prey. This is what they compare themselves to. We the highest on planet Earth. We the eagle. So when you look at the scriptures concerning the eagle that they compare it to, then you start to understand prophecy. Let's get some more.
Verse 26.
Yeah.
And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above on it. And I saw as the color of amber.
What did he see? The color of what?
Amber. As the appearance of fire round about within it. From the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward, I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. And
this is what glory looked like fire, but it said it was the color of amber. Somebody run the color of amber real quick. Just run it real quick. Just give me Webster's definition of what amber is, the color of amber. That's what he saw, and he said, I saw it from the loins upward because I can't look past the face. I can't see the face, and from the loins downward to his feet was the color of amber. What's amber, y'all? Golden bronze or burnished bronze, like Revelations say, So y'all, once we matched what the color looked like we saw sapphire and different things, you know. That's why we have to be careful when we talk about what's surrounding the throne and what the Most High looked like, because it said he was the color of emerald. Emeralds is green. So you know ain't no green man sitting on the throne like this. If you do, we got jaundice. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be careful what the colors are compared to. That you say, well, no, that's not man. That's talking about what's surrounding the throne, the color of emerald.
And it's also described as being transparent.
Absolutely, like it's clear, because that's what Jews are. They're so clear, pure, like a baby eyes that you say, look how clear this baby eyes is. The whites is still there. Whatever color their iris is still there. But you can just see the pureness in the white, or the, what do they call that term? The saclilia? What's the white? The white of the eye. It has a term.
It almost looked blue.
It almost look blue. It's so pure, but you can, what you're looking at is pure innocence is what you're looking at. And then when you look at your eyes in the mirror, you start recalling back, oh, these old eyes here. Boy, they got some stains in it, what I saw yesterday. Boy, look here, stained like underwear, boy, I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Verse 28.
Yep.
As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake.
So it's saying, see, the bow is still in the cloud. That's the same, what we call the rainbow. But notice what Satan has done with the rainbow. He's taken it and made it their flag. So now it's switched to the throne of God, is into debauchery. LGBTQ, LMNOP, all of it is now taking the rainbow from that Ezekiel 126 talk about the rainbow, Noah talk about the rainbow, Sirach talk about the rainbow. And now it's been put into the hands of the wicked. So now our minds will be to the point that we'll never wear a tie-dye shirt again like we used to wear in the 70s. Why? Because it may look like a rainbow. Is you going to wear a shirt of many colors or a coat like Joseph of many colors? Will you? How about this? See, color causes a lot of problems. And yes, I understand certain things like some men won't wear pink because pink is for who? Okay, who is blue for? Okay, so a woman should never wear blue. Well, see, now look, y'all now see where we at with that? Why a woman should never wear blue? If you're using that same logic, you can't have it part of this logic and then it don't work for this logic. If it's saying blue is for boys, pink is for girls, then women shouldn't have on blue. If you got blue in your closet, burn all that blue up. No, I'm just messing with y'all. Y'all ain't got to do that. Go ahead. Huh? Well, that's what we're talking about. See, and that's what we're talking about. Society dictates what colors go for what gender. Well, you said he looked nice, but see, I asked what was pink for. So does he look like a nice looking man girl? So y'all, we have to be careful with that, y'all. No, all of those are things that part of the rainbow. We don't know what it was. What was the colors in Joseph's coat of many colors? What was the colors in that? David made one for his daughter too, a coat of many colors that her brother ripped off of her and raped her. You know, many colors, y'all. So what does that constitute, y'all? So what I'm saying is, y'all, sometimes we can get trapped in how they identify we should walk or what we should wear. You know, what you got back there, D?
Previous class, you said it can't nothing be identical, right?
Say again.
Nothing can be identical. Satan can't identically copy anything.
No, it's always going to be bootleg. It always going to have a flaw in it. Like you can go buy one of them purses at the flea market and take it back to the original store in Paris. Before you walk through that door, they got alarms going out. And they can have the best copycatter working on that, but they know when you come in there what's fake. Just like the Most High know when you come to him and say, Lord, we have prophesied in thy name, and he tell you, I don't know you. Right. I ain't got a clue who you are. Who are you? You know me, come on. Moses, anybody. It's the pastor in here. That's the pastor. You come on, Lord, you know me. If he tell you I don't know you, then you have not been in the cloud that he's in. He don't have no memory of you. Nothing about your righteousness is being stored up to where he can call back and say, well done, servant. He don't see none of you in there. I don't know who you are. You call on me and I ain't got a clue who you are. You don't even know who I am. It's like people that call on the Lord at the last minute and expect him to show up then. Right. But never call on him when you're doing well. Got overtime, the house been approved, car loan been approved, and it's all me. Right. But soon as the mule thieves come and pick the car up in the middle of the night because you done missed 3 payments, Lord have mercy, you know I worked hard for it. You gonna give it and take it away.
Thou hast said.
Come on, y'all. We got about 30 minutes, y'all. Where we at? Yeah, we got something. Go ahead, OG. They don't have y'all understand what he just said? Same image, identical, but don't have the same fingerprints nor the same exact DNA. Every soul has to stand at judgment. Twins can't swap. Say again. Don't have the same fingerprint, and everybody don't have the same spirit. He said to one is given the spirit of this, to one is given the spirit of that, but it has to work that body together.
I saw that on first 48, where a twin committed a murder.
Yeah.
They picked up the other twin, fingerprinted him and everything, and got swabbed for his DNA and everything, but it didn't come back to him. They were like, you got a brother? I'm like, yeah, they found out he had a twin. And they found the twin.
Yes, sir. Fingerprints matched up then. Y'all see, the Most High knew what he was doing when he did that, so that we wouldn't have nobody switch, or we wouldn't have the evil twin. He switched. And but y'all see all the movies, the evil twin switch and become the good twin and all of that, but yet his evil still come out. His whole mission is to make the good twin look bad. See, but then we got a foolishness out there that they saying Lucifer and the Messiah were twins. They're yin and yang. That ain't the issue. Because the scripts say the Messiah was the first creation of all creation. Before the universe, before heaven and earth, before Lucifer was thought about, the Messiah was created. So he's not a twin of the devil. If you want to get anywhere closer, you may say Michael, because both of them was cherubim that covered the mercy seat. Michael still hold his position. Lucifer just wanted to go above doing this, to protect the mercy seat. And mercy is protecting those who we have to, and that's what we pray for, mercy, y'all, because everybody's a sinner. They would cover that and offer the mercies to the Lord. He got tired of that. I'm sick of that offering. They offering it to me, and then I got to offer to him. Why just offer it to me like I'm God? Let's just cut through the red tape. Now tell me what it is you want. And she saw a tree one to be desired. That's what he come after, your desires. The Father say, I give you your needs, not your wants. You want something, sacrifice for it. But I'll make sure you have bread and water, the law of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High. That's what you need. And you can survive without the rest of the stuff. Let's get some more. And y'all, not only AI, now they giving you can have your own vacation in your AI. You can put on these goggles and sit back and you be thinking you at the beach and you asking for a mint julep and when you pull them off, you're like, boy, wasn't that a good trip? This is where the mind is going to. You're going to fool yourself like you'd have been over there.
I need to get away from it.
I need to get away. Let's get some more of this, y'all. Where we at? Daniel 7 through 14. And y'all, what we're establishing is the cloud that we have to have all our information going to. That will stand as a testimony for us. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7 through 14.
We're going to be reading in the book of Daniel, chapter 7. We're going to start the reading in verse 7. Everybody there? Give me a second to get that.
And y'all, a lot of times it may seem like if somebody have a question and they say something about things like this, what we try to do is make sure you're able to cover if they ask you why you got yours there. Mm-hmm. If it's the devil, what you doing with it? What do you say after that to them? Huh? Well, how you going to explain, well, I don't worship the devil with mine? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Or the money in my pocket, I really give it away as soon as I get it. Well, you done passed by a few brothers.
A couple of them.
We need to flip a hat over around here if you giving away money like that. See, and that's what we have to understand when he say, give away all you have and come to me. He don't mean it like that. What he's saying is give away your love for money. That is your God, that is going to get you out of everything. Because all the money you got can't heal the daughter you here talking to me about. Mm-hmm. I kept the commandments. You've been doing that because you got money. Yeah. Y'all, if we hit Powerball tomorrow, we can do a lot of the commandments. You can hire somebody to keep commandments for you, so to speak. Make sure I eat the right thing. Go to the store, get all that. Make sure that when we do this, when the marriage ceremony has this, you can do that with money, but how does a poor man fare in that? The rich man died just like the poor man. That's all we got to understand. Marriage ain't about how fabulous it is. It's about a personal covenant that you become one flesh, and money can't buy one flesh. Mm-hmm. Money destroys one flesh. The love of it, I should say. Let's get some more.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7.
Yes, sir.
After this I saw in the night vision.
Because the Most High always deal with us through dreams and visions. You ain't going to never see a prophet going into anything the Lord speaking to them without it being a dream or a vision. And that's what Lucifer likes to come in at. In your dreams, because he's not worried about your flesh. I need to alter the dreams because then you'll think about it all day while you're walking around in the flesh. Like Pharaoh, I dreamed a dream, but I can't remember what it was. Look, I'm paying all you magicians and astrologers. Tell me what I dreamed. They say, can't nobody do that but the one true God. He said, what the hell am I paying y'all for? He said, I can't remember it. Well, if you could tell us just a little part, we can kind of decipher what it means. I don't remember none of it. Can't nobody do that down here on earth? See, the demons know. And they say, but it is one who's been practicing. And he's on a different cloud around here. He in prison, though. He like, go get him. And what he did is he didn't please him and tell him the good side of that dream. He told him straight up, look, you better get some corn in the barns because in 3 years it's going to run out and the whole world going to be coming looking for you. And this was going to be, it's going to be a famine in the whole world. And you, king, you're going to get brought down on your knees. Y'all, that's understanding that what I'm finna speak to him, I may lose my life over this. But he told me I got to tell him to save everybody else. Look, if they got to kill me, then the rest of them are saved. But I have to tell him what he's facing in his dream. But when he told him exactly like it was, why did the dream click right back in? Y'all, dreams are the most powerful things we can deal with. The adversary just like to call it you're in an unconscious state or your subconscious. Why do they make it sound less than the flesh? But it's more than the flesh. You know why? Deuteronomy 23:10. Such is the man that chanceth at night. I'm talking about an individual that do the same thing of a man having his honeymoon. He do it while he laying on his back like that. Which is more powerful, this or the flesh that need help? This because he has to follow the same laws. If it happens with this, and I'm speaking of a nocturnal emission to keep it clean. But how do you control that with this? And it takes friction in the flesh.
Because the spirit is more powerful than the flesh.
That's what we're talking about, bro. So that's why he coming in your dreams. He ain't worried about the flesh is already dying. I need y'all eternal soul to hang out with me forever. So that's where I'm coming for. I'm not coming for this foolishness. I'm gonna interrupt your dream and make it so bad you're gonna be walking around like this all day. And everybody come out, man, what's wrong, Ariel? Nothing. Come on, man. It's something I can see it on your face.
That's why you got to gird up the loins of your mind.
What you got to gird up?
Gird up the loins of your mind.
Now, what did that mean? Loins up here? Let's get some more, y'all.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 7 again.
Yeah.
After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
So once again, y'all, we can't get tricked into what symbolic look like. It says her like wool. So imagine, and quickly we label that to black people. Wheels her like wool. See, when you ain't understand, wool is a sign of righteousness. You know, or the Messiah aged from the time he got crucified and ascended till we reading about in Revelation that his hair is like wool now. His hair he was only 33 and a half then. So that time period from there, he didn't age to look like he got now hair. No, it's about righteousness. It's why George Washington tried to imitate everything too. In the Capitol, he's sitting on the throne with all the nations around him. He's the father of what? They say this nation. And all of them wore wool wigs. It's a sign of power and supreme authority, so to speak. But we label it to hair. Well, what about the Aborigines? They got woolly hair. You understand? It's other nations that we would have to wipe out and go through that to try to make wool hair only fit for the Israelites. And it ain't gonna happen, y'all. It's a sign of righteousness and power. That's why white is always clean and white, and it's whiter than any snow or any fuller on earth. It's saying it's whiter than snow. There's nothing on planet Earth that's whiter than snow. There's nothing you can create on earth that'll make anything whiter than snow. And it's compared to that because it's clean without any spots. It's so clean that nothing can be compared to it. A new pair of white t-shirts, you put it down next to snow, it'll look dingy. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So wool, this is his authority. He's sitting on the throne, and that's what the nations copied off of. Judge Washington wants you to copy off of like he's starting the new world. I'm the father of all this. Ain't he on the very first dollar? Oh, Georgie. Y'all, so yes, you will see things like that, but that ain't got nothing to do with an afro. It's talking about power. Let's get some more.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain.
What was slain?
The beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds.
What did he come with?
Came with the clouds of heaven.
See, I want y'all to keep understanding. It's always going to say the clouds of heaven. It's a total different set of clouds, y'all. They got us chasing another cloud. This cloud is different. It's from above the mercy seat. So it's going to be different. Y'all, when you look at it, you're going to see power and righteousness. You're going to know it's not a bootleg. Just like they can tell if you walk in their store with bootleg product, You understand? You walk in a Converse store with some of them old fake Converses we used to have, didn't have a Chuck Taylor emblem on it.
Them was
What we say? What's this?
pro-kids.
There was some what? Pro-kids. Go ahead, bro.
And came to the Ancient of Days.
Who he come to?
To the Ancient of Days. And they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, and that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
And see, we got non-messianic, so people don't believe in the Messiah. They say this is the problem we having with Daniel. We can't explain who that is. You know, well, that's a problem for you. It ain't a problem for believers. You don't want it to be that because you got a man you want to set up as a deliverer. And ain't no man been able to deliver. All of them fell short. All of them fell short. Their mission has failed. Let's get this next one, y'all. We're going to roll. Acts 1, 9 through 11. When you hear somebody say your mind is cloudy, what do you think they mean by that? Your mind is clouded up. If it ain't about the Most High, that means it's jumbled up with foolishness and nonsense when you say somebody's mind is cloudy, meaning they can't see clearly.
Right. All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Acts.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, and we're going to start the reading in verse 9.
What it say?
And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and the cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. And
this is what we got to always understand. There's always going to be glistening white when you see somebody from the Most High. Every vision they say, I went to heaven, or you seeing all these YouTube videos, I died and went to hell and I came back. What did you have on and what were the clothes that people had on that you saw?
Right.
And I saw this, but what did he have on? And they identified clothes that's bought at K&G. Ain't nothing, you never heard it was glistening so white I couldn't stand to look at it. There's never in there, all they had was a nightmare. Satan came to him and gave him a nightmare. Just real quick, give me just a little bit of that Sirach 34, if you will, in that term. Just a little bit of that Sirach 34 so we can understand Satan, if he alter your dreams, if they be not sent from the Most High, is going to turn you upside down. How everybody saw your grandmother and she got on her earthly clothes.
Right.
And you can't have spot or wrinkle. Sirach chapter 34. What it say now? Pick it up right there at Dream.
All right, book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 34, verse 5.
Hey, who out there in that hallway? Who's that out there right there? Where y'all learn how to whisper in the barn? Yeah.
I'm starting in verse 1.
Okay. Who?
Security guard.
Oh, okay.
That was your grandson concerned. You could be alright.
Okay, all right, okay.
All right, so Rock chapter 34, verse 1. The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false.
See, the hopes of a man void of understanding. If you don't know what dreams about, you're going to be void with them. You're going to be guessing. People will tell you anything they want about dress. Man, I was dreaming, man, was two cats on the table and a bird, and then fire came out. Oh, that's a bad sign, brother. Fire coming out of the rear end sound like you about to get some hemorrhoids. But, see, they just make and they just make up stuff as it goes along. Void of understanding of how the Most High come to you. He will never tempt you with evil. Neither tempted he any man. So if it's evil in there, you have to know the law while you're sleeping so you don't sin in your sleep. You can't creep to a hotel in your dreams and think, oh, it was just a dream.
Right.
Go ahead. What it say, Nat?
It says, in dreams lift up fools. Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow, and followeth after the wind. The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. Of an unclean thing, what can be clean?
Of an unclean thing, what can be clean? You think you can make your life better because you dream a better life?
Right.
If you unclean, you ain't gonna dream no better life. Go ahead.
And from that thing which is false, what truth can come? Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain.
See, divination and soothsaying dreams, but notice how I put them all together, because divination is a way of throwing things down and try to conjure up what you're dreaming, but they never can tell you the full story. It's only bits and pieces, and you fill in the blanks on it. Divination, you know, like I say, calling on the dark side, familiar spirit to help you out. And they may say one thing ain't nobody else supposed to know but you. Well, for they're called familiar spirits. They hang around. They see what you was doing in that alley behind the trash can.
Uh-oh.
And they'll tell it. You thought nobody didn't see you. So now you have fear of more of a crime than you have of the eyes of the Most High. That's who you should be concerned about. Saw me doing that. Lord have mercy. The Lord saw that like David did when Nathan came to him about the ewe lamb. He says, you, David. He like, oh my God. He seen that. He seen all of that. But he know you going to repent. But the punishment ain't going away. You're going to save your life. That flesh ain't going to die today, but you're going to pay a heavy price for that, David. Let's get some more.
Verse 5 again.
Yeah.
Divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain.
Yeah.
The heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail, if they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation.
Read that again.
If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation.
See, if a dream ain't sent to you from the Most High in their habitation, I mean, well, just say throughout the night. If it's not, how are you going to know it's from the Most High? It's going to be all righteous. There'll be nothing wicked. But it's on you in your dream, because now you're a solo soldier. You what this nation would call a Navy SEAL. You're the top soldier. Satan can't get at you whether you woke. You can talk a tough game while you woke. Everybody talk a tough game while you woke. But when he send them demons on you and they be sitting on your chest and you trying to wake up and the person sleeping next to you can't feel you struggling. Get off me. Oh, Lord. Mama! That's what he wants you to holler. Mom. Because then he know where your faith level is at. Next thing you know, you can't let mama go. No, mama, I just want to sleep. Boy, you can't. Go home. See, y'all have to understand how he's going to attack. That controls your whole day. It's a reason day starts at what we call night. See, so you go through the first part of the night, or what's called daytime, because day start at sundown. You go through the first 12 hours and you dreaming. So you can be productive of the Most High guide you when you wake up in the daylight hours from 6 a.m. around to night again. It don't work the other way around. You have to be in night. He gonna visit you. He gonna tell you this gonna happen to you today. Make sure you make a left turn instead of a right turn. It's gonna happen about 12 noon. Get some more, Nab. Was you finished with that?
No. Verse 6 again.
Yeah.
If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them. For dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them.
See, if it be not sent from the Most High. Y'all, so when people have dreams, the first thing we ask them, what happened in it? What we look for is law breaking or temptation. Then we know that dream wasn't from the law. We're like, oh, the devil was just having a little fun with you. What you doing? Eating some spaghetti about 12, 30, quarter to 1. You having some ragu visions. That's what all them spicy sauces will do to you late at night when you're supposed to cut your eating off earlier. You can't eat all them spices and crawl in the bed at a quarter to 1.
Right.
You'll see fire shoot out a cat rear end in your dream. Yeah. Go ahead, y'all. Let's get caught up. We got 15 minutes.
That was it.
Hit back that Acts 1, 9 through 11. Did we hit that?
We got 11 to go.
Okay.
No, not 11. But
Yeah, verse 11.
The book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 11.
Yeah.
Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yeshua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. So
what we keep seeing is cloud in heaven. So when he was standing on the mount, did a white cloud like that just come down, cover him up, and the rest of them is him, and then the cloud went up. Well, clouds don't go past where they at right there. Mm-hmm. So is he just hanging in the air right there? Or is it a different cloud? So, Tuba, if you will, can you run that video real quick? And y'all, what this is just Independence Day. When their writers copy from the Bible and show a chariot in the cloud. We just read that Exodus 13, 21 and 22. This is what they made this movie from. Exodus 13, verse 21 and 22. This is what the copycat has done and just switched it real quick and say it's coming from somebody that is less intelligent than you. But yet you're trying to get a hold of their technology. Do that make sense?
Right.
They're convincing you that these aliens out of space looking for us because they don't have their own way. They're trying to learn who we are as a people and want to impregnate us to this thing. But yet we want their technology because we say it's out of this world. That don't make sense, do it, y'all. Let's get some more. What it say? Too bad you gonna run that?
I'm playing the video right now.
So if y'all have, we on God's Word 298, y'all through in New York, and the cab driver stopped, cars crashing, everybody looking up. This is the scene, but this is the scene that they got out of Ezekiel chapter 1. This is the scene they got from 2 Kings when Elijah was called up. It's the scene from Enoch. All of them are exactly the same. They just changed the narrative. I don't care how many white Jesus you see. The description in Revelation say it don't look like what you're seeing. Right. What you gonna believe? Your lying eyes or the truth? Let's get some more. What it say? What's going on, Tuba? Okay, there you go, right there. Any of y'all seen Independence Day? It's the scene right through and everybody looking up. This is the scene, but this is the scene that they got out of Ezekiel chapter 1. This is the scene they got from 2 Kings when Elijah was called up. It's the scene from Enoch. All of them are exactly the same. They just changed the narrative. I don't care how many white Jesus you see. The description of Revelation say it don't look like what you see. What you gonna believe? Your lying eyes or the truth? Do y'all see that fire unfolding within itself? Everybody see that? Yeah, he showed.
Yeah, it showed. I was looking at it. That's why I was playing that.
Your phone ain't caught up yet? See, boy, that's some. You must have got that from the Chinese wig shop, that phone. That's bootleg they sell up in there. Fake iPhones. Both of y'all been at the Chinese wig shop. And I hear y'all got iPhones for $13.
Yeah, I got it balls on there now. That spaceship coming through that cloud.
Can y'all see that yet?
You know, we on the delay.
Yeah. About who? Exodus 13. Verse 21 and 22, y'all. But y'all go watch Independence Day. And not only that, but look, once again, Hollywood is the propaganda machine for how you relate to the Bible. Like the second Independence Day, they actually show the pilots. Where the pilots are looking just like the one he so-called knocked out and drug him out of there. It had calf's feet, just like we reading right here. Even in the movie with Mel Gibson, what's the one, you know, where he saw them fallen angels, them demons, and the boy had the baseball bat. what was that one? You know, and he was whooping the demon with the baseball bat. Swing, Billy. Signs. You know what I'm talking about, bro. They only showed the thing walking under the door. You can see its feet. Well, his feet is exactly like Revelations 4 and Ezekiel 1 of those beasts that drive the chariot. But once again, they want you to think that they're coming for your trouble and they're coming to destroy you. Now, guess what they say destroys them? If you got some water around. And if you got somebody who couldn't make the major leagues and they still got their old bat from winning the high school home run championship and they can whoop an alien. Swing, Billy. This is what I'm talking about. They changed the narrative to bring supernatural down to our form that we can defeat supernatural. It's no problem with it. We'll whoop God. That's what Satan thought. I'll get my army and we'll whoop God. So when they take Bible events, they always make the Most High the loser in the battle. Too bad we ain't going to have you struggle with that no more. What's happening?
No.
Okay.
Being alive was kind of going back and forth with somebody in the chat. They finally got it all correct.
10 minutes, y'all. We got 10 minutes. Where we at, y'all? Let's speed this up.
That was it on that.
Revelation 1, verse 7. And then we're going to get into men's mind will have to be corrected because, y'all, the whole thing is to get in your mind what the knowledge you take in, you will dream about. So this is what we want everybody to understand. All of what we taking in right now will come back to play and you regulate it in your dreams, good and bad, and you get rid of certain things that ain't supposed to. Like the Most High say, always make a way for you to escape in anything. The devil always come at what's called the third watch of the night or the ninth hour. Like in the daytime, it's 3 p.m. When Satan comes, it's like 3 a.m. in the morning. It's called, they call it the witch's hour, but the Most High call it the fourth watch of the night. But that's the time to really pray in your subconscious. If you get locked in there and he finna take you, the phone will ring, somebody will knock on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you wake up, hello, and it ain't nobody there. You go to the door, ain't nothing out there but the wind. It woke you up to make you concentrate on what was I dreaming about that I had to get snatched out of the fire that quick. The problem is if it was lust and you hurry up and jump back in the bed and pull them covers back and try to get back in that dream. Where was I? See, so now you won't never be back in the dream. You'll just be looking through the window at yourself. So now your conscious witness you sinning after you've been made a way to escape. It's always going to happen, y'all. Just don't watch the videos about waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're going to send you a whole nother direction. They know it's in the Bible, but they're going to tell you, look at it from this perspective, not from the Bible perspective. So, and what they're going to do, they're going to make sin available to you. Do you know in your dreams you could have Beyonce, even though she's married to Jay-Z? In your dreams, you can be with another hairy chest man if you want to. Bump chest and hair fire and start a fire. You can do that all your dreams. And you think when you wake up that don't matter. No, that's what's locked up here. That's what gets on Judgment Day. I will show you the intent of your heart. What you think. I want to know why you thought. I'm not the Most High ain't looking at the after product, the finished product. I want to know what made you think you can get away with that. What made you, R. Kelly, think you could pee on that little underage girl and get away with it? Let's read some more. Yeah. Look, what'd he say? What'd he say? What was telling him no? His mind was telling him no, but what his body telling him? He said 12 players old enough. Her wall ain't built up as Ezekiel talked about in Ezekiel 16 and Songs of Solomon. A young woman's wall have to be built up, meaning the protection from illegal intercourse, and her breast must be fastened enough to feed a child. If you do something to them before then, the Most High will really get at you, but there's a doctrine that say that's the best time to go after them. Let's get some more. Ain't even got a training bra on yet, and the devil say that's the best time to get at it. Where we at? Verse what?
It's on Revelation.
Revelation 1 and 7. Y'all, we're going to speed through these. We're going to close out while we got these 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Revelation.
Y'all, we're going to get in this cloud time.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 7.
What it say?
Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen.
So look, we only got a second comment, but it's saying it's from the devil. So y'all, they still in the book. They just changing the narrative of what's coming. Satan ain't coming from up there to do nothing. Satan kingdom gonna be set up already. When you see what's coming from heaven, it's to destroy what's set up on earth already. See, what he's trying to do is get your mental away from that, bring his sky show in, set the antichrist up, and see how quick we were gonna go forward. And look, he ain't gonna have on no white. Nobody gonna have on pure white with no stains in it. And evil is still going to be on the world, because you know what? The Antichrist still going to let you do what you want to do as long as you bow down and worship him. Puffy will have his way. He can tell a horse, a dog, take that, take that. It ain't going to matter to the Antichrist as long as he bow down. Yeah. Where we at?
Did you want to keep going in the
No, we're through with that. Men's mind, 2 Corinthians 10, 1 through 6. 2 Peter, y'all, we're going to hit that book of Jude. Everything else we'll do as homework. But I definitely want to read the Isaiah of Lucifer, the impostor. Y'all, they have something called cloaking now, what they do. And basically what they're doing is they're using mirrors and technology to bend or what they call time. And it actually hides an event. When y'all look up cloaking, where did they get that from? Out of the Bible, 2 Kings. So we're going to look at the same thing with cloning. Where did cloning come from? Genesis 30, when Jacob cloned them cattle. But he didn't do it with no mixing of different kinds. He told them, take that myrtle tree, skim it, and put that in the water. He said, when they come and conceive, they weren't even in the water. He said, when they come and conceive, they're going to be like-minded. Just do exactly like I tell you. And it's the same thing with DNA, y'all. They're trying to clone the same way. Jacob, see, there's spiritual cloning. The devil is a copycat. Cloning ain't just started. He's watching what he see and just try to bring it down here to this level. But y'all read Genesis 30 chapter when Laban was trying to, after he worked for him and gave him 7 years, then gave him another 7, then gave him 6 more, 20 ball, and then he still didn't want to let him go after he made him rich. And he told him, this is how we're going to separate. We're going to separate the kind from you. We're going to have them looking like fraternal twins. Here we go. What's happening? What y'all laughing at? Somebody talking crazy?
Yeah.
What they saying?
There's something going on.
Huh? Run it, y'all. What you got over there, LC? Huh? Oh, right where it may be maybe 27 to 30. Right where Jacob is leaving Laban. Or you'll just see, just Google this. Jacob put the rods in the water for the sheep. And it'll pop up the chapter. Just read the entire chapter. You're going to see what's called cloning. You're going to see what he did. There was speckled kind, and then there was a plain kind. All of them go to Laban, but these go to you. So they were done by a rod put in the myrtle tree. Certain things like plants today have certain qualities. It's the same way, y'all. They're doing the same thing to try to clone. They're just doing it in an in vitro lab and different things like that. They're taking the seed out of man and putting it into a woman's egg in a laboratory. Y'all understand what we're saying? They could actually take a man seed and the woman's egg and put it in another woman as a surrogate. Where they get that from? They get it from Sarah, who the problem, what used to be called sit a handmaid on your lap. So when women was going into labor, the woman who may have gave that woman to her husband, like Sarah gave Hagar to Abraham, and the reason being she went to that second part, the bootleg, is because she didn't believe the angel that was going to come out of her. So she said she going to have the baby for me, but it's going to be like it's coming out of me. I'm going to sit her on my lap and hold it like this. And while she's having the baby, and when the baby come out, it's going to appear that I'm having the baby as well. Hagar was the ultimate surrogate, so to speak, but it was through disobedience, because she never would have had to go there if she had just believed the baby was going to come out of her. And that caused her a lot of problems with Hagar and Ishmael.
Right.
So y'all ain't nothing new in the Bible. I mean, nothing out here new in the world. It all comes out of the Bible. It's just the Bible got its own guidelines. Like soothsayers out here say, well, crystal's in the Bible, dice in the Bible, but what are the instructions for it? Is it instructions for the dark side, or are you playing dice according to the way the Most High say do it? See, that's what it comes down to, obedience over sacrifice. You can't say because diamonds in the Bible, then I could use diamonds and crystal worship. The devil is in the Bible. Does that allow us to play with him? Does that allow us to see what he wants? Man, I just want to see if his spells really work. That's in the Bible, ain't it? Mm-hmm. Let's get some more, y'all. Don't fall for the okie doke. 2 Corinthians 10, 1 through 6. Y'all, we're going to speed this up. 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians.
2 Corinthians?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's delaying us, you mean in first. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Who got it?
Now
Yes, sir.
I, Paul, myself, beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ, who is present, who in presence am based among you, but being absent am bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence, wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh.
So he's basically saying, look, there's a way to be bold in the spirit. You just can't be bold like, you know, we had a situation of bold in the spirit, meaning waking everybody up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can't be that bold. Right. People have to get up and go to work. So you have to regulate when you do that. Well, I'll send it at this time when people normally get up. I'll send it when people normally at lunch. If anybody sleep past lunch, they working a midnight shift. Or I'll send it at this where they working that shift. We can get it in without disturbing nobody. But bold don't mean you just can go up to anybody and let them have it, because the Messiah didn't do it. Right. He didn't open his mouth. Isaiah 53 say he was like a sheep led to slaughter. He was dumb. That means he didn't open his mouth. When Pilate was telling him, he like, look, don't you know I have the power to release you? He looked at me like, please, man, go ahead. I was born for this. Go ahead, do it. Thou sayest. Right. See, so when you hear all this other fat mouthing, you know it ain't of the Lord, because he say, be silent. You know, learn to listen and listen to learn. Fat mouth and this tongue get everybody in trouble. Sound bites get you in trouble. What you got, bro?
Maurice Richardson has a question in the chat. He asks, could heaven be under some type of punishment as well?
Heaven under punishment? No, sir, not at all. Heaven is not under punishment. Under no shape and form. It's a holding spot for wicked. The third level of heaven is paradise, mentioned in 2 Corinthians 13, 1. Also in the Testament of Levi, mentioned the third level. Also the book of Jude. So y'all, we got many things to talk about the third level of heaven. So there's no wickedness up there. All the wickedness that was up there were cast down to this realm of heaven. So he's the prince of the airways of this level. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he just brings traffic in this area under the heaven. But he ain't allowed back up where he was. He was cast out. That was the war in heaven, Revelation 12. That's what caused Genesis 1 and 2 chaos. When you're reading about Genesis 1 and 2, that's coming out of a flood. Noah's flood was the second flood on planet Earth. This one was restoring the war in heaven, Revelation 12, because Lucifer was already here waiting. Let's get some more. Where we at? 2 Corinthians 10, verse 1 through 6. Who got it?
Verse 4.
Yeah.
No, verse 3.
Yeah.
For though we walk in the flesh.
Though we walk what?
In the flesh. We do not war after the flesh.
Y'all, we can't think about a pistol. A pistol ain't going to get it done out here. Your knife ain't going to get it done. You can't think of this as a fleshly war. Let's get some more.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal.
Yes, sir.
But mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. Casting down imagination.
What we casting down?
Imagination.
Where do imagination start?
In the mind.
You got to cast down false imaginations. You dreaming of something. Come on now. You can't be sitting in there like Fly Guy was, and don't drink your juice in the hood when he was thinking about when he was out on the block. When he won Pimp of the Year. Y'all see how he was smiling, reminiscing on that? Cast down them imaginations. Let's get some more, y'all. Go ahead.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh.
Everything that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High. Go ahead.
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
See, and now you got to bring in every thought into captivity. That means I got to guard my thoughts to be able to deal with Messiah. I got to guard everything I do, what I think about. If I think that I got, Lord have mercy on me, why did I think that? Sometimes you got to just shake your head and do that because the devil is in there. And you ask yourself, why did I think of that, especially today on the Sabbath? Get out of there, get out of there. How you get in there anyway? You got to cast them imaginations away, y'all, because the imaginations is going to be leading to fornication. Imaginations is standing in a lunch line and you see a nice looking woman, you know, and built nice, and you thinking, you know, I would like to meet her parents, and then her meet my parents, and then we have a honeymoon and invite everybody. Is that what you think?
That ain't what you think.
That ain't in your imagination, boy. Okay, I don't want to know what's in your imagination. Let's get some more.
Verse 6. And having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
See, and then when your disobedience is fulfilled, meaning that what you don't break the law on no more, then you're ready to be bold on that. Because you can talk about it now. You know, when it say you show a sinner his ways, then you hide a multitude of sin. Guess who the multitude is hiding first? Yours, because you can't be a hypocrite. So yes, it's a multitude. If I told you not to do it, then I'm stopping at that point because I can't be caught doing what I just told you not to do. So if I stop, it's going to hide all the ones I've been doing before, and then his if he was planning on doing them later. So a multitude of sins get hid when the law come in. You're like, man, I was on that kick too. Man, I didn't know what that meant. Man, you mean you've been doing it too, dog. Let's get some more. No, we good on that. Let's hit this next one. We're gonna close on that. We ain't gonna do the 2 Peter. Let's hit the Jude. Y'all read 2 Peter all. That's very important. We're gonna have to skip it. Just the book of Jude is real quick, just a few verses. And then we'll hit those 2 on the impostor, Isaiah 14 and 12. And Daniel 2:43, y'all will close out. And just show that cloak. And y'all, and the final, the book of Joel, we're gonna have to do that as homework as well. Y'all, we'll repeat the homework. We'll repeat the homework, y'all.
Jude just got that one chapter.
Yeah, Jude just one chapter, the book right before Revelation.
And that homework was Jesus, right?
We're gonna write them all down because I got a couple more. You know, just to Joel too. You wanna read it? The book of Jude, y'all. Let's get it.
All right, the book of Jude.
Yeah.
Chapter 1, verse 1. Jude, the servant of Jesus Christ and brother of James, to them that are sanctified by God the Father and preserved in Jesus Christ and called.
See, and it says sanctified. That means made holy in Messiah. So this excludes non-messianics. This is John 3:13. You're condemned already if you don't believe in the Messiah. You're condemned already. Don't even come to the throne if you say he don't exist. You're condemned already because you ain't believing in what could save you.
What if you believe he's not created?
He's not created. You condemned already because he's been in your life. It's showing. Look, you know why? Because what's the year we in right now? I don't care what other doctrine you believe. You're going to use the term when you bring history, 3,500 years. What you going to say? If it's going to be after the death of Christ, what you going to say? 2025 what? And who is that birth based on? It's based on the Messiah. So no matter how you spit language, it's coming out of your mouth and you just don't understand what you're saying. Because you ain't going off of Pharaoh time. You ain't going off of Buddha time. You ain't going off Krishna time. You're going off BC and AD. All time is surrounded by Christ's birth and his resurrection. That's where time starts and ends. Let's get some more.
Verse 2.
Yeah.
Mercy unto you, and peace and love be multiplied. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. For there are certain men crept in unawares.
How did they come in?
Crept in unawares. Who were before of old ordained to this condemnation. Ungodly men.
What kind of men?
Ungodly men. Turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness, and denying the only Lord God and our Lord Jesus Christ.
So what we're talking about, turning his word into lasciviousness, making polygamy a doctrine when the word polygamy ain't in the Bible, nor can you say polygamy in Hebrew. It's not a word, it's a Greek word. It means men with many women. You bring that into a doctrine. And not only that, but you go to Paul. The only place you go to Paul when it says the marriage bed is undefiled, and then you say, if I got two women, they can have at each other as long as I'm in the room. So now you're making the script ungodly with marriage. Now you're bringing in ungodly marriage ceremony.
Right.
Go ahead. And these men creep in on you, dressed like Hebrews, look like Hebrews, but got a doctrine of multiples and say it's a man's God-given right. Adam had one wife. When they got off the ark, how many of them have? How many wives each one of them had? Abraham had how many wives? Until the one wife say, I don't believe I can have a baby. Jacob only wanted how many wives? Worked how many years for? The other came in through chaos. The 12 tribes, only 2 of them had one wife. So it was never a practice doctrine. That's why the script say in Exodus 22, if a man take another wife, this is what he got to do. All of them got to be treated the same. This one got a car, that one got to have a car. This one got a house, get that one a house. When you read the testament about Jacob, or you read the testament of Reuben, when Jacob went out to shear his sheep, Reuben went to the house of Bilhah. She had her own house. And he caught her drunk and creeped in out of 30 seconds. And the angel went and told Jacob, your son is an MF. He's uncovered your nakedness. Y'all understand where that word come from, that curse word? And yet, who say it better than anybody? Israel, don't they? Bernie Mac is the chief, was it? I ain't scared of you. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 5.
Yeah.
I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroyed them that believed not.
This is always going to be the problem. Believe, like you were saying back there, Sister Joyce. Belief. Even Isaiah 11. If the broken off branch of Israel come back, long as they don't continue in their unbelief, they can be grafted back in. But you can't be grafted back in. Well, man, that's here nor there, man. If Joseph ain't his father, if he is, so what, man? That's still unbelief.
Right.
If you say the Bible's been tampered with, that's unbelief. Satan ain't going to tamper with nothing, because then that's a false case. If he's your accuser, he can't bring a false case. It have to be thrown out if it's a false charge against you. That's why he never, ever brings deception first. He always asks you, what did your first mind tell you? Oh, no, bro. See, your second mind is you done went over and you thinking about some things. Follow your second mind. And then when you do what you say when you driving home, I should have did what?
Right.
Who is your first mind? And what you saying? You didn't say your first flesh, did you? Why we never say I should have followed my first flesh? You follow your second mind, which leads to following your flesh.
Right.
What you got back there, too, but I see you looking at the forehead wrinkled up.
Looking at something in the chat on my forehead, but Hebrews 11:6. But without faith it is impossible to please him.
Yeah.
But he that cometh to God must first believe that he is,
Uh-huh.
and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
See, you got to believe that. You can't believe it's tampered with. Your mind is just tampered with. Because all we're going to ask you, show us where the law has been tampered with. That settles everything, because everything is based off the law of God. Nothing moves but the law of God. It stops debate. It stops religions from starting, because the law of God, it interprets itself. Just like the law of this land interprets itself. Click it or ticket. What that mean, y'all?
Don't wear that seatbelt, get a ticket.
What say it again, too, Bob?
Don't wear that seatbelt, get a ticket.
Is that hard?
Ain't hard.
Let's get some more.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
What did they not do?
Keep their first estate. But left their own habitation. He hath reserved them everlasting chains under darkness unto the day of the great judgment. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication.
What they giving themselves over to?
Fornication. And going after strange flesh.
What kind of flesh?
Strange flesh.
And strange flesh. Y'all know what it is. Some of y'all old enough to know who Cameo was back in the day.
Yeah.
She's strange. And what he say he like? And I love it. And he dancing and performing with a padded jockey strap. You like, what's kind of strange going on around here that you liking like that? Let's get some more.
And going after strange flesh.
Yeah.
Or set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh.
What kind of dreamers? See,
dreamers.
we just went into it, y'all. If you having filthy dreams, you're going to have to check yourself in your dreams. It's called lucid dreaming. When you look up the word lucid, it means being aware. Y'all, we can be aware that we dream. Nat Turner, if you power over Jordan and dunk in his face, you dreaming. And do him like this and run back down the other end of the court, you dreaming. Let's get some more, y'all. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Right. Verse 8. Likewise also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise the men and speak evil of dignities. Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuked thee.
See, because there's no need in threatening him anymore. Michael already threw him out of heaven once. It's just like, come on, man, we ain't going to do this. The Lord rebuke you. Go away. And as simple as that, the devil will walk away. See, we're trying to combat the devil with another weapon of flesh. When all you have to tell him is the Lord rebuke you. If you think evil thought, just say the Lord rebuke you. It worked for the devil and for you thinking that. The Lord rebuke you and get that evil thought out of your mind. Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 10.
Yeah.
But these speak evil of those things which they know not, but what they know naturally, as brute beasts, and those things that corrupt themselves.
See, they always compare themselves to beasts. They have a beast mentality. Everything runs off of instinct. No guarding of the loins of your mind. They don't even have the loins of their flesh guarded. Y'all wonder why STDs is going up through the roof? All the stuff they found at Puffy House, they found no condoms. Y'all just, I don't want y'all to picture that in y'all mind, but I just want y'all to think about what that's happening out there, with what's loose and the contamination out there that's happening there, and that he's doing this, and the devil is saying, that's my white party. That's what I want to be. That's my harvest for the world. That's how I want y'all to get down. I want all y'all to love each other this way. Love mother, love father, love sister, love daughter. Orgy it up. Y'all, that's the pinnacle for everybody that get rich on this side and don't want to keep to the ways of the Lord. The only thing they top out with is the best orgy on the planet, and they brag about it. Ain't no party like a what? Diddy party, so they thought.
Sounds like a slippery slope.
But when he get hemmed up, they disappeared, ain't they? Let's get some more, y'all. And I'm only using him because of the book of Adam and Eve. When y'all get in the book of Adam and Eve, y'all write this down. There's a story about Genon. G-E-N-U-N. Is that how I'm spelling it, Elisha? In the book of Adam and Eve, second book of Adam and Eve is about Genon. Genon was the one who lured Adam's son Jared and his offspring down that mountain. And they started with music. First thing they do is put naked women in the front, Cain's offspring, wiggling and shaking, and they put them in front, and then they had that tough beat, and they went down the mountain he showed them the way down. They came down from the north, and you're going to always see the north because that's the way down from up above. It's always going to be the north, the north, the north, the north stars, and the way the colors in the north. So they got them to come down, and the next thing he did, he said he created corn liquor for them, and then he designed clothes for them to wear, and then the orgy started, and it said it was the most debauchery. It said son on mother, father on daughter, brother and sister having their way at this, and that's what he promoted. Then they couldn't come back up the hill. And not only that, but he taught how to play instruments. He introduced the instruments and how to play them to where they become seductive. And the makeup too, all that. So what he did is, this is mirror image of what you see in a puffy trial. That same spirit that Ganon put out there, that spirit overpowered this man. Because everything he doing, when you look at it, it's mirror image. The music, the naked women, the clothing, and the takeover move, and the debauchery. Let's get some more, y'all. 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
Woe unto them,
Uh-huh.
for they have gone in the way of Cain.
What way have they gone up?
Cain.
Uh-huh.
And ran greedily after the error of Balaam
Uh-huh.
for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Perea. These are spies in your feast of charity,
Uh-huh.
when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without water.
What are they?
Clouds they are without water.
Uh-huh.
Carried about of wind. Trees whose fruit withered, without fruit, twice dead, plucked up by the root.
Uh-huh.
Raging waves of the sea foaming out their own shame.
What are they out of their own shame?
Raging waves of the sea foaming out their own shame. Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints.
So you read that also in the book of Enoch, the 14th, 15th through the 48th chapter. Also Sirach 44 and Sirach 49 speaks of Enoch, where it says the Most High come with 1,000 of his saints. So I want y'all to understand, every time y'all see a UFO movie and they have all of the ships with them, you see the mothership and the small ship, those are the Most High's arm. But they are making you think it's some alien from way out of nowhere that is coming, but at the same time saying we're going to build a rocket and go where they at. It just don't, y'all understand what I'm saying? In one breath, they give it its praise. In the next breath, they say, I should be equal or greater than what's coming here to take over this earth, because believe me, they know when that happens, the end of the world is falling. We're going to switch order. The head going to be the tail. Yo, last one, what we want to do, hit Isaiah 14 and 12, and homework will be done. We'll get it, Daniel. I just want to show some cloaking in 2 Kings, and y'all will close on now. It's only 3 verses. Isaiah 14 and 12. And y'all, this is the adversary. Even in the adversary's writing in the books of Freemasonry, in the book of the instructions of Albert Pike, page 225. He says in there, when you reach the 30th degree, 31st, and 32nd degree, you have to acknowledge Lucifer is God. You must acknowledge it. Or you can't come into this level. You can stay down there with the Shriners and do all that stuff, but you cannot come up here unless you acknowledge where your help has been coming from. You must acknowledge that Lucifer is God. And then it said, if he were not, why does Yahweh always threaten him if he's not a God? See, just that little bit thought, and instead of you saying because he's disobedient as hell and got kicked out, that's why. But go ahead, finish that off, bro. Just down to 12.
Ezekiel, you want the Isaiah, right?
Yeah, we're in Isaiah now. Who said
Isaiah chapter
Ezekiel?
14, verse 12.
John trying to get into my minutes.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12.
What it say?
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
How art thou fallen from where?
Heaven, O Lucifer.
Yes, sir.
Son of the morning.
Son of the morning. Go ahead.
how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
In the sides of where?
The north.
Y'all need to do some study on why is the side of the north so important. Go ahead.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds.
Where you gonna ascend above?
The heights of the clouds.
Oh, y'all thinking he talking about these clouds right here? Or you think he's talking about I will ascend above the Messiah? See, because Matthew 4, he's testing the Messiah. If you bow down and worship me, I give you all these kingdoms. The Messiah say, boy, you talking out the side of your neck, Lucifer. How you gonna give me what's mine? But notice he didn't want to be the Messiah. He wanted to be the Father. So he wanted to go above the cloud, which is we got a witness in Christ as our cloud. He holds our information. And I trust in him that on Judgment Day, and you next. And he say, we ain't even go through it. Well done, servant. Come on in and enjoy. That's what you want to hear. But he know you to be able to say that. Like we say today, oh man, he good. And you let him in. Those around you, if he's saying he good. Let him on in. And it shouldn't be no bad with him. Let's get some more.
Verse 14 again.
Yeah.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
To the sides of where?
The pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prison? You want me to keep going?
Yeah, no, just verse, we were going down 19.
All right. All the kings of the nations, even all them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot.
And you see all those will be joined with him in that. So we just want you to see again, Lucifer said, I will ascend above the clouds. And the cloud that he's trying to get above is the Messiah. I get past him, he never sinned, or I get him to sin, then the Most High can't say nothing to me. I just need to replace him. I'll get past him. So the whole attack of Lucifer, y'all, is on the Messiah. Everything he puts out there is to make it look like he don't exist, but yet it's existing right in front of our face. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because time can't exist off a fictitious individual that never lived. You know, you can't put him with Zeus and all of them that are made up, because ain't no time of Zeus. Ain't no 6,500 Zeus time, is it?
Right.
Is it anybody? And then, you know, if you have a problem with saying Jesus in English, just look it up and see where it comes from. It'll say from the Hebrew Joshua, meaning salvation. So y'all, we have to understand it ain't so much as what you think. If I say the right thing, is what you're hearing in here to say the right thing. You can say whatever you want. If you breaking these commandments, you just a what? You what? Yeah, that's simple as that, ain't it? Y'all, last one. Cloaking, 2 Kings 2. I'm going to get that Genesis. 2 Kings 2, and we're going to hit this last one. 2 Kings chapter 2. No, 2 Kings chapter 6. Verse 15 through 18, y'all, we'll close on that. And this is when Syria was coming after the king of Israel, and he was panicking. And it was something happened with supernaturally that nobody could see but the enemy. Y'all think y'all be winning wars, and y'all say they just run off from me. No, y'all, their eyes opened up to your protection. And that's what they happen to see, the army of the Lord behind you. Like Joshua saw in the 10th chapter of Joshua when he said, "Oh, you with us?" the arm of the Lord. He said, no, player, you with us. You know, we got your back. 2 Kings 2. That's what I mean. I was just seeing what y'all listening. Y'all listening?
Where y'all starting?
Starting about verse 15, just through 18. Y'all, verse 1, you'll see. And guess who this is too? This is Elisha that was given the double spirit of Elijah after he was called up. This is Elijah going through some, and like say the devil will come at him supernaturally. He like, yeah, you did that in front of everybody, but I'm going to see what you're going to do now, y'all. So we have to understand we have supernatural power behind us. When Jacob wrestled the angel, that didn't have nothing to do with the hollow of his thigh. Don't mean you don't eat the hollow of a chicken bone, or what they saying now, what you can't eat. Because of that, no, what that was getting him prepared for, if you're concerned about Esau and his band, if you wrestle and just say, and he prevailed against an angel, he wrestled with him, and that got his name changed, what are you worried about this flesh for? It can't do nothing with you. You wrestle supernatural and defeat it. It's like when we wrestle supernatural, when that witch riding us, and you shoot, and then you have to say it 3 times and then it leaves. That's wrestling. When you do that, then that prevents you from being scared to go to sleep, because you know what? You have to rest the body. You can't stay up forever scared to go to sleep. Y'all know people that's scared to go to sleep, hoping the sun come up at 1 o'clock in the morning. It ain't. You gonna have to wait out, and they just doing like this because they scared if they go to sleep they gonna die in their sleep. Let's get some more. 2 Kings.
All right, family. We're going to be reading in the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6 and verse 15. And it reads, And when the servant of the man of Yah was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do?
You see this army? Go ahead.
And he answered, Fear not.
What did he tell him?
Fear not. For they that be with us are more than they that be with them.
And there's only 2 of them. He like, wait a minute, your numbers is off, or you got on some Mr. Magoo glasses. You don't see what we up against? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17.
Yeah.
And Elisha prayed.
What'd he do?
He prayed and said, Master, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Most High opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Most High, and said, Smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them with blindness, according to the word of Elisha.
So he did the same thing that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. But you see, the servant, when the servant's eyes was open, he was able to see supernaturally the protection we have, y'all. See, we can say I got spiritual connection and protection, but unless you truly understand you have power behind you, it wasn't just you that run them off when you run off 1 or run off 10,000. You think that actually you? See, they got scared of me. You start flexing yourself, your chest like Terry Crews. When I did like this, all 10,000 of them took off running. No, so y'all know it ain't that. What happens is they see behind you, and they fear and say, God is with this man, and they burn out.
Jacob wants you to listen to something.
Who that?
Jacob.
Jacob, what you got right there?
We got verse 19 to read.
Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
And Elisha said unto them, This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek. But he led them to Samaria.
So we see, y'all read the rest of that, and y'all understand the same thing y'all read when you're reading about Jacob and that army that was behind him that looked like 4 companies to Esau. And he saw Jacob and his family, and their horses fell backwards, and Jacob like, look, damn, they that scared of me? So y'all, we have supernatural power around us. We feel it every now and then, but we just don't understand it on the level that we should. What you got, bro? What you speaking of? Same what Genesis 30. All that surrounding 29 and 30. You'll see the Esau. And then when you get into the book of Jasher, around the same chapter 29 and 30, it'll go into detail. It'll tell you about the companies. What Jake talking about?
He got audio he wants to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, they ain't children here. We can't listen to it now.
I played at the play.
Oh, you played at the play. Yeah, okay.
I already got it pulled up.
Back on.
Hey, got a question before we leave out.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I know it happened to me, but does it scripture that it has to happen to everybody that rich has the right to call on the Most High?
Just say again.
Is that true? Does that have to happen to everybody? To where that rich drives you to where you have to call on the Most High and the Spirit?
Well,
So it has to happen to everybody?
Does it have to happen to everybody?
No, it don't happen that way all the time. It could come other ways. I mean, the dream is just what it does. Is what's trying to upset your consciousness. So when you wake up, it's constantly on your mind, and you have no answer. It's who you gonna look to for the answers. Like Pharaoh can understand and say, "We know a man that can," and they go to the scripture. And first thing Joseph said was, "The interpretation ain't mine. The Lord is gonna send the Spirit on me." Yeah. Yeah.
You in your bed, you can't get up.
Yeah. Well, it tell you to call on the cloud, the Messiah, because this is a supernatural war. Ain't nothing you can do with that physically. You can't even move. The professionals call it sleep paralysis. That means you in between sleep and woke. You know the only problem they having with that medical term? Everybody has the same vision of a dark figure sitting on the chest. They say that's the phenomenon we can't explain. Why is it the same dream? And why, when the same words are spoken, you wake up? See, that's what the medical professionals say. They want to give it another term called it sleep paralysis because they don't want you to understand dreams and they want you to be fearful. They want you to be the devil's fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. If it ain't sent from the Most High. And how you going to be knowing it's sent from the Most High? It ain't going to tempt you with evil. And if you lucid in your dream, you should know what evil is when it's coming to you. You know that ain't your woman. You know that ain't your car you behind the wheel of. You know that ain't your desk. That's the supervisor's desk in your dream. Yeah, and you rambling through the drawers. Go ahead. What you got to do about it? Yeah, we're going to close on out of here.
Oh, no, they quit. That's what I did. Hold on.
Everybody don't forget Jacob tonight. 7 o'clock, Jacob.
And he got the field, lioness has, she wants you to explain the wilderness, where and what it is.
The wilderness, we're in the wilderness of a people now, according to Ezekiel 20:33 on down. We're in the wilderness of the people because we're in the four corners. We're not in one location like we was in Egypt and came out to Sinai. We're amongst the people that we have to separate. Look, we're amongst the people in that wilderness. We just had to fight them through to get to Jerusalem. 3,000 souls fell in the wilderness because we couldn't get past the test in the wilderness. The wilderness is not paradise. You can't use Isaiah 56 and make it paradise. And when it's saying, and I saw this, no, it says the wilderness behind and the Garden of Eden is before you. Right. Wilderness is behind. So, y'all, we got to leave this world behind. Like that movie, Leave the World Behind? Yes, sir. Same way, when technology failed and Tesla cars and crashing out the highway, you got your bunker set up, but you on the highway and then ran out of gas in your house 15 miles away. I'm in your bunker now, eating all your survival food, all of that. Because you can't get home. You done build a shelter and you still going to work. You can't build no bunker and leave because it's going to hit like a thief in the night. You don't know when. You may be at the Cubs game where they losing to the Cardinals. The lieutenant listening to them.
Lieutenant stomping on the floor right now.
What you got, bro?
One of our brothers and sisters in the chat asked, may I ask the congregation to pray for my brother by blood? I was talking with him yesterday and he has been blessed with an ear to hear. I pray that understanding will connect for him and his family.
Absolutely, sister. That Acts 19, the Most High Apollos do the war and the Most High get an increase. So just keep feeding it to him. The Most High gonna give him an increase if it hit his soul. But y'all, also, bro, Jasher 30 gets into what we're talking about Jacob. And about scrapping with Esau. You'll see that in Jasher 30 as well as Genesis 30. And also all the way up to Jasher 32, you'll see Jacob reconciled with Esau. But write this down, Jasher 32 and 26 where it starts. And you're going to see where the Lord send them angels to scare the hell out of Esau. Yo, that's the power we got because we ain't got no power in our hands. Ain't no Black Power movement. Ain't no marches did it. Yo, we got to call on supernatural. What else we got? What else we got, y'all? And get out of this. This ain't tribulation yet. The Antichrist ain't on the earth yet because we got to have 3 years of peace first. Who done had 3 years of peace? Who been relieved of bills and... Huh?
I'm falling way short of that.
Then the Antichrist come. See, y'all, once you start listening to people like that, they're putting us in them last 3.5 years, then their mind is really on the rapture doctrine.
What is the end to you?
What is the end for you, according to Joel? Did I give y'all that homework? We got, yeah, okay, 2 Peter, the whole 2nd chapter. And you want Joel chapter 2, verse 1 through 19. Y'all understand it perfectly. Y'all got to keep our mind on the true cloud, our Messiah. That's above these clouds.
All right, family. We're going to get this closing prayer. And it is with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, and he's our Redeemer, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him as Jesus the Christ. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 121st chapter, it reads, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help.
Yes, sir.
My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
Yes, sir.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper.
Yes, sir.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yes, sir.
He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this and even forevermore. Hallelujah! Say that!
But one thing, y'all, when that witch riding you and you say the Messiah's name 3 times and he leave, he won't be back for a season. But he's coming back, so y'all don't think it's one and done. He's just going to try you later and see if you let your guards down. Shalom, sister.